Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C, a Roku critic. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What a conversation. It's a little long, I know, but it's one of those ones where it's one of those ones where yeah, you probably listen to this in the future. Elon did his thing, so this was split in two. But for you on the podcast, you get to hear it in one place. You don't have to go to two different links. So, swings and roundabouts. Sometimes you get it late, but you get to listen to it in one go. And you get to hear me ramble at the beginning. Look, the benefits are endless really on the podcast. Thank you for listening, and if you do enjoy the podcast, please do rate it, and I'll allow you to enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing After 30. More than enough people to start. It's going to be a fun time. I'm sure all those people who couldn't wait for After 30 are just filled with joy to give their filled with joy. They must be filled with joy. This must be the first Nollywood sequel to have just given everybody such sweet, amazing things in their belly. Sweet feelings. All right, I can't wait. Can't wait to hear all these sweet feelings. All right. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C of Roku Critic. This is Nollywood Film Club. We do discuss Nollywood movies and Nollywood related topics every Sunday, 6 p.m. Some days we discuss Nollywood sequels that were made after TV series. So today we will be discussing After 30. We'll discuss what we liked in the good. We'll discuss what we don't like in the bad. We'll disagree in the pushback. And we'll do a nice summary at the end. If you don't want to speak, please do comment underneath the space and it will get read out. All right. So, opening the gate today. Vanessa, can you tell us what you liked about After 30?
You know, there's a multitude of reasons why people don't like you, and that opening spiel gives proof as to why you are incredibly unlikable. On to the good. My girls are back. After it's been how many odd long years, and the girls are back. Guys, and do you know what makes it even more intense is that these girls didn't get the careers that I thought that they should have had. A lot of them in the show, Damilola Adegbite deserves the world, and she didn't get the world, and I've wanted to fight, and I'm just so happy to see her. She's gorgeous, like for like 15,000 people. That kind of beauty deserves to be flown around in private jets and dressed and draped in the best diamonds known to man. Damilola Adegbite is a speck and times 20. I don't see if I can wax poetic about Damilola Adegbite's beauty. I don't know what to tell you. And Damilola Adegbite still remains one of the only few Nollywood actresses who knows how to act ditzy. Ditzy when it comes to romance. Now, she's an incredible high-powered lawyer, great in her career, but once man matter enter like this, my baby girl brain just fly away. There's a few people in Nollywood who tend to play characters like that as juvenile and childish, when that is not the point here. Damilola Adegbite doesn't play Temi as juvenile or childish. She's just wrong. Do you get, like, she's just not clued in love. And I think Damilola Adegbite does a great job with Temi. Beverly Naya was gorgeous in this. Love to see that she still rocks a shortcut, even though now it's a bob. It was pretty. Also, love that she's a money babe and focus all her attention on making money. I like the premise, even though I find sometimes I'm like, oh, why should single women want to have babies, why should that be the recourse for a lot of these shows where a woman is like, oh, I've given up on love and I want a baby? However, what's her name? Nkem has always sort of wanted a family. As much as Nkem was sexually liberated and didn't mind having multiple partners and blah da 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 da. From the first series, we've always known that Nkem has always wanted a family. Nkem is traditional in ways like that, right? So I guess for a character progression of after 8 years and being unsuccessful in Lagos in love, having her next thing on her side is having children seems plausible for the character. So I guess I like that. Also another incredible, beautiful woman who also I think deserves more. I know some people think otherwise. Annie Icha. Annie Icha is just everything to me. I hold Annie Icha dear to my heart. Her incredible hairline. I know that seems like a weird thing to speak about, but the fact that her edges come all the way down to her eyebrows, I think is incredibly beautiful. Um, and he's just gorgeous, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. Also, love to see Megotanwa in this. Loved hearing Megotanwa speak French in this. I like that people are finally putting Megotanwa's ability to speak a number of different languages to use, even though it was for one scene. I don't care. She has spoke the French, even though she was actually speaking quite a few of her other languages in Before 30, but that's fine. Speaking about beauty, yeah, Asa Samuel is hot. I don't know what to tell you. Asa is hot. Asa's been hot. Asa will always be hot. Asa's tall and fine and gorgina. Are you kidding me? The way some of the trousers that they put that man in fit, I was like, okay, sorry. Sorry, Asa. I didn't mean to stare down there, but you look cute. Also, a few things, except for when we were VFXing and green screening and putting stuff in the back that shouldn't have been in the back. A lot of it looked good, you know. The fashion was great. I think a lot of the costuming choices made sense. I think, especially with Aisha, from the first one, Aisha had her hair out quite a bit, and I guess it makes sense that after 8 years in the show, her hijabi journey is different now, and she's fully covered up in this sequel. What I'm saying is I like I like a lot of the costume choices in this. There was money here, guys. What I'm saying is there was money in this, and the money showed, even down to like the interiors. The money showed. What else? What else did I like? The music. So Before 30 had great music. It's a different kind of music here, right? In Before 30, we were discovering unknowns, right? We were discovering some of these like unknown alt musicians. Bez's There's a Fire was basically blew up off of Before 30, and the music was always fantastic in Before 30, and I think the music was good here as well in After 30. Yeah, what else did I really like? Guys, they gave me a montage. I got a romance montage. Did it serve the purpose it was supposed to serve? But I got a romance montage with two incredibly good looking people driving down, I don't know if it was Lekki Ekpe or Third Million Bridge. They were driving down a bridge, and yeah, they looked hot and they looked cute. And the passage of time through those legal meetings, I thought was incredibly cute. There are some cute moments in this. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. Mr. C, you're on mute. Oh,
Oh, okay. It has finished. All
oh
right.
you're rude.
Uh,
Oh,
all
you're
right.
rude.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. Next, I think we had Ma next, right?
Yeah, we have one.
Ma, please, can you tell us what you liked about After 30?
All right. I'm just going to echo a lot of what Vanessa said. I thought the women were gorgeous. Even they looked even more beautiful than Before 30. I guess age would do that to you. Just gorgeous. And then the music, when I was watching it, I think the one thing I did tweet was like the music was just delicious. Like there was this one, I think the music when they had the montage was just perfect. Everything about it, the entire shtick was so cute, so gorgeous. I loved it. The man also, the man or the man, Kunle, yeah, was gorgeous. Just, a specimen. I was taken aback a few times just how gorgeous he is. And then what else? What else? Picture quality was great. I mean, again, just like Vanessa said, the VFX was a little too on the nose, but it is well. They did good with the picture quality, the fashion, the costume, everything about it was great. The makeup, actually, they all looked stunning, just gorgeous. Ugh, that's what I liked. Oh, one more thing, sorry. And I like the fact that they didn't kill off Caribe's, not like, well, he died, but they didn't just write him off. They kind of did it in such a way that was nice to see. Like it was like, oh my gosh, oh, it was very like heartwarming for me anyways. I really like that.
Sorry,
All
Mr.
right.
C. I also want to
Thank,
speak on the Caribbean. I'm surprised it wasn't the first thing I mentioned. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Because if anybody
okay, go
knows
on.
me, they know I'm the number one Caribbean forever stan, Barra stan. I will forever love Caribbean. I think we lost a gem, and I really was worried about how his departure from our lives would be handled, and they did it with the most respect. They didn't treat him as an afterthought. He was an integral part of Before 30, and they accorded him that respect, and I really appreciated that.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks, uh, Uti. I think you are next in terms of what did you like about After 30?
Oh, can you hear me? Let me start with that.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to like repeat what everyone else has said, but I want to preface this by saying that like my good, my bad, my everything is based on the fact that I can't really see After 30 as a standalone. Like just because I was introduced to it before 30, like a lot of my comments would be like, yeah, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. But anyways, um, yeah, I think in addition to what everyone said, I thought the women looked beautiful, particularly Annie. I remember there was this scene where she had like butterflies in her. No, it was flowers in her hair. And I remember just looking at her, I was like, oh my god, she looks so beautiful. Um, Interestingly enough, another thing I liked, it was also Annie related. I liked how like I could see chemistry between her and like I've forgotten the other woman that was in the story. But I can see chemistry. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because anytime, like Nollywood, like not even Nollywood itself, just Nigerian media in general, anytime they try to like, I guess, write like queer characters or like introduce like queer people to their story, it's always from like a sexual, like very very sexual, like, and you can never tell if these people actually like each other for real. But like I feel like in this I could understand why you guys Annie was struggling with that, because I was like, oh, you actually like, I can see that you actually like, I can see something here. If they had kids, which I knew that was not going to happen, I could have been like, oh yeah, this is a possibility, like I actually see you guys like liking each other. So I did appreciate that they did that. But yeah, that's mostly what I liked, apart from like all the other, like, the beauty of like every other person in it. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks, Uti. Alan, do you want to tell us the things you liked about After 30?
Hi guys, good evening. It's raining here, so just in case, I also apologize ahead of time if I get caught off or anything. So, what I did like, first of all, obviously, I like Damilola Adebite, very pretty girl. Like she was a real vision the entire time I was watching this thing, and I don't really have the words to explain how I felt about her, so I'm going to be quoting some of the greatest philosophers and the thought leaders of our time. I will be starting with RD, who said, "Have you seen the shape of her body? Mad." I will also be quoting the lovely feminist icon and body positivity champion Megan Thee Stallion, who says, "Body, oddy, 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 oddy." And of course, the great Nigerian philosopher Davido, who also says, "Omo gay too fine, no be makeup." Oh, And most importantly, of course, a Gen Z forward thinking icon in his own right and a philosopher, Rema, who says, "See body, oh, see body, see body. Eba mi, oh, eba mi, eba mi. She dey bust my ololo, she dey bust my ololo." Yes, I think those are enough words I have to describe Damilola every time I saw her. Very gorgeous lady, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, I would like to thank the casting director for bringing her back and reminding us that she is a rom-com icon in her own right in Nollywood. I also liked my candidates for Nollywood Heartthrob upcoming. You guys, please give him jobs. Asa, I really enjoyed seeing him a vision in everything, and then they made him a billionaire son, which is quite appropriate. I mean, he looks like he smells like money, so I really like that they cast him in that light. I also liked this girl. I liked Ama's story in this. I really enjoyed the whole like queer couple, and I like that they made her someone who had a religious background. So it made sense that she had this conundrum between her religious background and her feelings about her sexual orientation. Like, I mean, from the beginning when they were talking about her issues with the male side of things, I was like, okay, so I see how they're setting up this character. So I like that when they set her up in that light, we have a continuation. I think she had possibly had the best story in this in general. So yeah, I think those are some of the things I liked off the top of my head. I think Vanessa has said a lot of what I wanted to say. Uti as well. So yeah, those are my main likes that I can remember for now. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
I hope you're not outside, Sha, because
Because what?
don't hear you now.
I'm not outside. I'm not outside.
Even if she's
All right.
outside, even though.
They should mind their business. All right. Wildflower, please, can you tell us the things you liked about After 30?
Hi guys, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
So I just finished watching the movie right now because I'm supposed to be working and I just finished it and I'm glad I came just in time. The characters were spectacular. Like what other speakers said, their makeup were flawless, especially Beverly Naya's makeup was beautiful. Are yet in shape, like they were like more structured, they were more plumb. I like the fact that they still maintain the storyline from before 30. So Aisha was still like the more private one and all of that, right? The outfit was also glorious. Like whoever the fashion stylist was, it was beautiful top to bottom. Like everybody carried themselves well. They carried themselves like women. The music, I just kept opening my Shazam all the time and just looking for the songs and writing all of them down. I just discovered Thousand Voice from this movie, so I'm going to be checking it out. So the music was great. The plot, the plot is quite interesting because it touched like so many points. It touched same-sex relationship, childbirth, and wanting children, which is really not talked much about in Nigerian movie. I like the fact that it's even the very quiet and homely person, Aisha, that we found out that tied her womb. It was quite interesting because nobody was expecting her to do that, but she really struggled with childbirth. And can we just give it up to Beverly Naya for the stellar performance she acted at the restaurant? You know, the part where she was like, "Bitch, call me a bitch one more time and I'm going to slap you." And I was like, oh my God. It was so real. I felt like she was going to give her one hot, dirty slap. It was so realistic. I think she really brought her 100% in this movie and she did well. I was expecting the movie to be like a series, but it feels like a film. So like just a one plus. I don't know if they're going to do more of it, but overall, I just feel like they did really well. They touched some very salient points. I wish Nigerian movie producers could go just a little bit more with, same-sex relationship. I know we are a deeply religious culture, and we want to make sure that we don't polarize the movie and everybody can watch it and it's child friendly and you don't get anything from Christians and Muslims and all of that. But come on now, you act a movie where for heterosexual couples we are seeing them shirtless, bareless, but for same-sex couples we just have to close, we have to consume with our head and just imagine what they are doing next. I'm just seeing two ladies staring at each other. Okay, what next? What happened? Did they kiss? What happened? I want to know. Like, why are they not giving us that extra? Why don't they push just a little? We're not saying show us sex.
Yeah,
We're still in the good.
we're still saying what we liked. We'll come
Back
to
to what
what
we
we
didn't
not
like
like.
or what we could have done
Okay,
better.
okay, so let me not go there. So overall, it was great. I'll just rate it very well.
All
The
right.
actors got their 100% to the movie.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Wildflower. I'm just going to read some likes that have come through. Terence says, likes one. Damilola Digbite got to outshine Atlanta. Bridget with her beauty. All the girls, they were great. Brilliant acting. 3. I love the lesbian storyline. It was refreshing. Maybe because we barely sit in Nollywood. 4. The party scene. Aisha versus Kem. That was intense. Okay. Mrs. C, what did you like about After 30?
Okay. I cannot describe Dami's beauty as eloquently as Olanna has this evening. I just have to say that there were so many times she came on my screen and I cussed out her ex-husband. Just because. But yeah, her beauty is stunning. Beverly stunning. So I watched Before 30 just before watching this. And in Before 30, I was like, oh my God, all these women are so beautiful. Such beautiful women. Gorgeous, beautiful. And then we get to After 30 and I'm like, we have added maturity to this beauty. And it was very much giving. I was obsessed with everybody. Annie, everybody looked gorgeous. What else did I like about this film? My ship. I'll expand when I'm in the bad, but my ship was Amma and her chef. I appreciate having that ship, even if they not finish it for me, but that was my ship. In fact, from the beginning, when, homegirl was like, you get away with a lot with that face of yours, don't you? I'm like, Mom, tell me you like my face. I folded. It's actually. But it's okay. I appreciated Amma's flirting, or rather the chef's flirting with Amma, and it was giving her the right looks. I liked it. There was a lot of longing in there. It's like, look, there's a bit of longing for us. Yay, us for longing. What else? I liked what they did with Amma's looks a lot in this film. Her aesthetic really matched her personality. Like all the flowers in the hair, she was just besides being really beautiful, she's just very sunny personality, just very fun, very sunny. And they really played that up in how she dressed and how her hair was done and all of that styling. And I really appreciated that. Special shout out to Beverly's Bob. Love it. Stunning. Gorgeous. Just again with the beautiful women. Special shout out to, I can't remember her name, person who played Dami's mom. I was like, she looks even better than the first one. She looks great. Mommy's looking good. All right. They really said the women are going to look good and the women looked good. I think that's about it for me with After 30. Elizabeth.
Okay. Is she? I don't know. It looks like she's having connection issues.
Okay.
All right. I think Elizabeth's having connection issues. Okay. All right. The things I liked about After 30. So first off, I think After 30, for the most part, it really carries as much of the essence from the Before 30. it carried more of it than I thought it would anyway. Which I think might sometimes be a positive and sometimes be a negative, but for the things, because I really enjoyed Before 30, a lot in terms of just the tone and the way we arranged a lot of things, almost the characteristic of the show. I think it captured it quite well in After 30 a lot. They carried over the voiceover, some of the narrator, Dami narrating, and I wasn't disappointed, even though like it was handled by somebody else. I wasn't going, this is a completely different project from the one that started, and they carry on the same themes for the most part. They're still trying to discuss issues with a single woman in Nigeria. I was thinking about this and I was thinking like this feels like at least a spiritual sister to something like Most Twisted Girl, where that is the essence, is discussing all like what it's like to be a single person in Lagos in Nigeria. So I thought well done to them for that. I'm going to have to join everybody who has discussed like Dami's beauty. It's actually kind of insane how beautiful that woman is. Kind of crazy. And to be honest, all of them were quite stunning. Annie, Beverly, and Meg. There were a couple of funny lines in After 30 that gave me a chuckle. I think this has probably the best use of an Instagram skit maker, quote unquote, if you like, in a Nigerian movie. In the sense that, like, in Lai, the reason why is they use Lai for exactly the thing Lai does do, right? They bring a policeman. Obviously, he's done that character really well. And it almost felt like he could have wrote part of this, and they used it and they implemented it in the story, in the plot. I just liked how, I think that's the best way we've merged, this, an Instagram skit maker. I enjoyed that, and I think more people need to learn from, more films need to learn from them. What else? Yeah. Okay. I mean, like, I think the best compliment I can give it is that it does carry a lot of the spirit from the TV series, for better and for worse. So well done on that. So yeah, those are the things that I liked. A couple of people more. Elizabeth, if you can tell us some of the things you liked about After 30.
Hi. So what do I like to watch? Actually, before I watched After 30, I went back to watch the last episode of Before 30 just to remind myself, and hopefully it's not the nostalgia speaking. But Dami is so beautiful. And I'm sure people have said that before I joined, but I just want to say it again. She's so fine. After 30, she's so fine. Like all the girls, they're so fine. I think, they spent a lot of money on wardrobe. Even if they didn't, everyone just fine. We're just seeing all the Lagos designers. It was nice. It was fun. Asa Samuel is so fine. Guys, this After 30 is really just a lot of beautiful people in beautiful gowns, just beauty everywhere. I really like the use of music again, which is on brand because Before 30 had one of the best OST out there. There's even still a SoundCloud, Before 30, introduced us to a lot of musicians back then. Really nice. I also still, okay, I'm not so sure about, I thought I could hear Sumi on a couple of times. I'll check and confirm that I really didn't check the credits, but use of music, fantastic. I also think that here, I mean, they tried to do something here, which is try to establish the girls in their natural, let's say, work elements, unlike the TV series where it was just very much the, oh my God, how do we get married? And it had its own character. I'm not gonna lie. The first one, and of course, you probably see that was before before they were 30, and there was some childishness there. So try to establish the girls, how they work, where they work, which is something that the first one did. So I really appreciated that. What else? Again, witty writing. Still try to. I mean, I'm not. I won't. I'm not so sure if it's funnier than or wittier than Before 30, but I really try to carry that comedy spirit, which we've been lacking in a lot of rom-coms lately. Our so-called rom-com, where there is hardly a rom or a com, anyways. But this has that comedy, so which is really great. There are a couple of times that like what Mr. C just said, that entire part from, in fact, I would say that when she first saw Ayo and she went to go and hide, there were really these funny things that they do. And I really like that touch of, anything about relationship making I want to puke. I thought that was very funny. I thought it was nicely done too. Anita is whimsical here. We saw that in Before 30. But in Before 30 was almost whimsical to a point of naivety there. And here, it's not as if she's grown like that per se, but she's whimsical. We see it even in her dressing. And I one does better. I think it's better than in Before 30. Trying to match personality,
Is that it?
the
Working for
characters
everybody?
to... Sorry, did you say something?
Okay. You were just breaking up a little bit for me. Yeah, good.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's definitely internet. But I'm done now. But really, that's what I really, really, really like here. The bit of growth, with the hand, but that's in costuming and characterization. No, costuming matching characterization, not the
Yeah.
other way around.
Yes, yes.
Merci.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And Atas, do you want to tell us what you liked about After 30?
Sure. Elizabeth, I think, has pretty much just taken everything I had on my list. Um, I did find this movie funny in a rom-com way, not like ha 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 funny, but there were genuine moments that I appreciated the humor in it. The puking is one, hiding and the general like hijinks of breaking the vase and hiding when she sees her ex or whatever. So just generally funny. Um, I thought this was easy to watch and generally enjoyable despite the length. Everyone is gorgeous. The scene with Beverly towards the beginning, where she first meets I guess she's in the car dealership where she meets the married couple. She is genuinely stunning. I was already looking for land to sell because the way the whole scene, her outfit, her hair was put together, gorgeous woman. I appreciate the amount of beauty in this. The women are gorgeous. The men are gorgeous. It doesn't matter what's happening. There's always something delicious to look at. The main character's new fling, boyfriend, whatever, fiance, stunning man. Not a lot to complain about as far as looks or fashion. The outfits were very cute. I found them appropriate in general. For the most part, they were, I thought, accurate to sort of who these ladies were, and I appreciated that. I also really appreciated the lesbianism. Always pro lesbianism, so I appreciated sort of the I guess kind of her discovering herself in that way and it not being as stereotypical as I thought it would be. I don't remember if I watched this prequel to this or if it was bad and I just forgot it, but I'm not having a hard time following it without it. So, yeah, in general, easy watch. I have 10 minutes left, 20 minutes left, so let's see if the end takes me somewhere I don't know, but so far so good.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Etas. I guess something I forgot to say, it's not like it hasn't been mentioned, is the relationship between Annie and her chef. I did enjoy that for most part. I really did. I'm just a big Annie fan, I think. Annie just seems like a great hang, to be honest. Right from the Before 30 series to this one. So let's add that one to the list. Before we pivot to the things we don't like. All right. Vanessa, take us away.
Toluwasanu gbogbo asa. Oh God. You people don't know how much it pains me to do this. Because if you people didn't realize the taunting that Mr. C was doing at the beginning of this space was targeted at me. I was excited. I was elated. I was all the synonyms for happy that you can find when this sequel was announced. Mainly because maybe I have nostalgic feelings about Before 30. I still think Before 30 holds up. But I don't know, Before 30 was one of those shows where I was like, oh, come on, Nigerian representation. As someone who grew up watching Girlfriends, Living Single, Sex and the City, these like ensemble women shows about women just doing shit, right? Whether they were making the right choices or not, I enjoyed those. And so for the first time when I saw Before 30, I was like, yes, Nigerian representation. Love to see it. And these girls are dear to my heart. Are they flawed in a myriad of ways? Yes. But they were incredibly likable. I think as much as After 30 did quite a good job in holding on to a lot of the essence of Before 30, what After 30 was, unfortunately, was boring. God, I was bored to tears. When Life Swap Live, the first thing I tweeted is, why does an hour something long film feel like 15 hours? Haba. Think, mewa kan ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣá. 10 was happening left, right, and center. And things are just happening. We're just moving. Nobody is taking a breather to reflect upon what things are occurring as we're going along. I was perplexed. You people don't realize. I think when I finished watching this film, I was left with one question. I know there's many questions, but one question umbrella all of it fits under one umbrella. Why? This is my thing in it. Yes, for many years we're like, oh, Before 30 deserved a sequel. We hate how a lot of stuff happened. I'm very sure to no fault of the creators of this, right? A lot of things happened that resulted in a second season never happening. But like a lot of that was just fondly remembering this show, right? Nobody really, quite frankly, said, "Oh, shoot a movie." I just want to put that out there. So my first question is, why did we make a sequel? And I'm asking this question after watching this show because on the surface, on paper, a sequel makes sense because we were left on a cliffhanger after one season. She was knocking on the door of that hotel room and we didn't know whose hotel room it was. Wonderful premise for another film I would presume, to tie up loose ends. Now, the reason why I ask why we made this sequel is because perhaps the viewers are lost in our thinking as to why a sequel should be made versus what the people who made the sequel thought the why should be. Because from a viewer perspective, the why is we're about to tie this shit up in a pretty bow. Because you're not giving us a series here. You're giving us a film. It is like saying we watched the what's that Gabriel Union show that ended up weird, that got cancelled, and then they made a film. If you are gonna make a
Is
film,
it?
make a film.
Being funny, maybe.
Being
Being
Mary
Mary.
Jane. Being Mary Jane. When a show ends like that, and you make a film, you are making a film to tie up all the loose ends from the show that you weren't able to tie up, right? Nobody is asking you to drag something on for another 800 hours without any sort of conclusion. Why did we ruin what? Honestly, I was happy to imagine that she and Karibi Fubara's character lived happily ever after. Honestly, that's what me I imagined all these many years. Anything that happened to that one don't concern me. You can't now come and scatter everything for me. And remember when I said these girls were incredibly likable in Before 30? Why did we ruin these characters? They went from flawed, damn near childish and juvenile to just being incredibly annoying. I had to remind myself watching this film that wait, I actually like these girls though. Because they made them incredibly unlikable. Except for Amma, who is just an angel. Except for Amma, who is just an angel. Everybody else in this thing wasn't. Abba! Why? Again, guys, I'm asking why. Also, why are we going in circles? And the reason why I ask why we're going in circles is this. As much as we're saying this soulmate bullshit, right? Except I'm remembering wrong. In Before 30, when what's his face? Osi Ukeje's character. Kiloruko boy, a very foolish boy in this show.
Ayo.
Akin.
Ayo.
Abi.
Ayo. Yes. In
Mm-hmm.
episode 1 and 2 of Before 30, guys, I'm sorry, I'm on a rampage here because I genuinely am offended. In episode 1 and 2 of Before 30, when Temi realizes that Ayo is never going to propose to her, she ends it all. I want people to realize that now she used her hand end this relationship. Even when Ayo came back and he came to her house and he kissed her on the cheek, nothing in that thing showed us that she felt like he was her soulmate. Now, we were left on a cliffhanger. Maybe season 2 would have showed, in season 2, if season 2 ever happened, it would have showed us that she went back to Ayo, and maybe this would have been plausible enough. But what I'm saying is, she had the wherewithal to have ended this with Ayo, moved on relatively enough until when she was at lunch with her friends and they're like, oh, I don't know, probably he wants me to go to a wedding with him. I'm thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it. And she said she was going to do it, right? That's the only thing that gives us a clue into, oh, she's probably not going to let him go. But she had some sort of, what's the conviction as to ending said relationship with Ayo when she saw he was wasting her time. The very first time, 8 years ago when she was younger. Not to talk about now, after 8 years. You've lost the supposed love of your life. You slapped him apparently at the funeral. You were puking at the thought of love. Then you finally meet a specimen of a man. And then he's engaged to a baby Kingsway that stole your wedding planner. Guys, I have to put this into perspective. That stole your wedding planner. And then is smiling up in your face and didn't even have the guts in the presence of his man to say, oh, we know each other. People are there, keep quiet looking at each other like the baby. And you go out of your way to stalk this man, look for him in Abuja. Why? What about any of this makes any sense for a character after 8 years? Could make sense? Okay. Aisha. Now, I understand Aisha's dealing with post-traumatic disorder, postpartum disorder, postpartum, and not wanting any more babies and feeling like she could never speak to Sheriff. Because, I mean, that's one thing that has carried on from our first series is Aisha feels like she can't tell Sheriff the things that she thinks to, be fully transparent with Sheriff. However, However, I don't think Aisha is the type of person to take the kind of choice that to make the type of decision that she made without speaking to one trusted party before, right? Number two, using it as a bargaining chip over her friend. I don't think Aisha is the type of person to use that as a bargaining chip over Nkem and Nkem's want and need and desire for a child. And for them to write Aisha as that character, it don't make sense. It didn't make. Number three, Nkem, again, guys, remember, by all standards, Nkem was sexually liberated, blah, 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 blah. But her friends also always knew Nkem wanted somebody deeply. Nkem wanted true love. Nkem wanted white picket fence, if we have that in Nigeria, big fence with a fancy house and a nice husband and potentially children. All her friends knew that, which was why Temi went to go and try and fight for that man that found out that she ended up sleeping with her boyfriend for her. That all her friends knew that. And never in the history of anything has it ever been said that Nkem wanted to sleep with Sheriff. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. Now, was Nkem, what's the word? Was Nkem of the wrong impression that the men that these girls had were good men from the outside looking in? Yes, because before that we were always given that impression that Nkem thought that Sheriff was a good man, that Aisha had a good man, and she just needed to grin and bear it. But we know the reason why this is so is because Nkem wants a good man. Nkem wants what she thinks these women have from the outside, right? Same with Temi. She thinks Temi had a good man in Karibi Fubara's character and now in Kunle as well, right? But I don't think ever Nkem had ever thought, oh, Sheriff sexy, I want to have sex with Sheriff. To then now turn around. And it's almost like we're judging her for being the sex positive person that she's always been in the entirety of the show, and then putting that upon her and saying, yeah, this is the type of person that she would be even in her friendship. And I think that is foul and a misrepresentation of this character. Number what again? Where am I? Sorry, Mr. C, keep raising your hand. My own is okay. Fine, I'll try and wrap this up really quickly. I don't think what I can say can fully explain how incensed I was. You go and make all these, and this is the funny part, right? A lot of stuff was happening to these women after 8 years, and somehow it was still boring. Nkem wanted a child. We don't, and this is my thing. So we do the sequel for what? Is it that we're saying there's going to be another film? Because I'm not watching that. The whole point of this was supposed to wrap everything up in a pretty little bow. We leave this with nothing being settled for any of these characters. Nkem doesn't have the baby that she wants. Her friendships are ruined. Aisha's marriage is basically over. She's come back to fight for her husband. We don't know how that's going to go. Temi basically, again, stuff just happens to Temi. Temi never takes any action for herself. She would not have left Ayo if Ayo's fiance didn't come back and say she was pregnant, and then she went to Kunle. We still don't know how that's gonna end. Ama's dealing with whatever she's dealing with her sexuality. We still don't know how that's gonna end. What was the point of all of this, guys? Why did we go round and round the circles to end at nowhere? I'm done, Mr. C.
All right. Hey, all right. I'm surprised you had so much time for a film that I thought it was
I
going
will
to be.
bite you. Wallahi, Mobilai, I'll bite you.
I thought it was going to be almost 0 minutes. Okay, it's all right. Next, I think is it Uti that is next?
Ma.
Ma, sorry. Ma, please, tell us what you do not like about After 30.
All right, guys. I just have a question. What went on in the writers' room? Did anything go on in the writers' room? I think that's even a better question, because it felt long, and it felt like so many things were happening at the same time, and this supposedly happens over the span of, let's say, 8 months to a year. It felt like everything happened in a week. From start to finish, the entire timeline of the film is a week. Sometime this week I saw Taraji saying, oh, they just shot a film for 4 days. If you told me that they wrote this film in 4 days, I'll believe you. It was written, in fact, 72 hours. I will believe you, because nothing makes sense. As for Temi Coca is so, oh God. I don't buy Ayo being her soulmate. It doesn't make sense because she and Caribe's character, they have their happily ever after. He dies. She's seen no one for 8 years. The thought of love just irritates her for 8 long years. And all of a sudden, she finds love. She's now happy. She meets Ayo again and he's her soulmate. What does she mean? Caribe is her soulmate. What are they talking about? Soulmate? That man is there to kill, steal, and destroy. Soulmate. No. Like, it just didn't make sense. And I watched it the day it came out. I rewatched it yesterday just to be sure I watched what I watched. Just to be sure that it was the same thing I watched. They sent this lady, this young, brilliant lady, all the way to Abuja for work. Did she even get the work done? I don't know. But she somehow found time to stalk this man. And those are not the actions of a right-thinking human being. I'm sorry. There's something is going on in her head. She went all the way and stalked him, and then they have lunch, and she's like, oh, why not? Why her, not me? After how many years? If he didn't commit then, what's to say that he's going to commit now? Like, it just didn't make sense for all the quote-unquote growth that she had in the last show before 30. It didn't make sense to make her character just go through the same thing over again and sabotage herself again for this same person that has not shown an ounce of seriousness. He's engaged to be married. When you met his fiance, he couldn't even say, oh my goodness, we used to date, we know each other. He just stood there looking like, oh, nothing. We know each other, but we don't know each other. It's very awkward, like, and very weird. So nothing about her character growth made sense. Nothing about Nkem's character growth made sense. Much like Vanessa said, Nkem doesn't seem like the person to do any of the things that they made her out to be in this show. Rather in the film. It's not a TV show, it's a film. It's just so off, so wrong. And I get that, yes, she wanted a baby. Yes, it did kind of seem that she was trying out every option, which is why I think the pacing of the movie was a little bit weird, because it literally just felt like, much like Aisha said, IVF today, adoption tomorrow, surrogacy, because it wasn't well paced. They didn't give things enough time to kind of marinate and settle. So maybe that was their plan anyways, for it to come across that way. But I just don't think she's the person that would sleep with her friend's husband regardless. Like, where did that even come from? It came out of nowhere. And as for Aisha, again, Aisha was going through something very sad, especially being married to like a northern man, Muslim man, who historically they're not very progressive. So I get why she was a little bit scared about telling her husband that she doesn't want to have another child. It does make sense that she's feeling all the fear and whatnot, but scheming to travel all the way abroad to tie her tubes and not even tell a single friend of hers her plan just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And then what's the sense in telling someone a secret and then acting mad weird to them? Like, this person is holding your deepest, darkest secret, and then instead of you to, even if you don't think her choices were right, instead of you to just act nice to her, you don't. You try to sabotage her life. Like, yeah. Okay. Weird. Just weird. And as for Mr. Kunle, I hope and I'm praying and I'm wishing that when he sees Damlola and he goes, Coca, I hope he shuts the door on her face, because the only reason why she's traveled all the way is because she doesn't want to be a stepmom. She's thought about it. She's like, yeah, no, that life is not for me. She's like, I'm tapping out. All of a sudden, she's like, oh, I'm relieved. What relief? Who relieved you? She's like, oh, I'm relieved. No one relieved you, babes. She was going to play wife. She was already in her little red bow in his house, opening the door, answering the door, and then all of a sudden, I felt relieved. No, you just don't want to be a stepmom. It's okay, but please, bull fucking shit, stepmom. Anyways, I think I might be done. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, oh, yes, I know I said earlier I don't believe that they're soulmates, but it does make sense that Ayo and Temi are soulmates because only two foolish peas in a pod. Like both those two, they deserve each other. Soulmates for life. That's all.
I beg, leave me.
See, I agree with you.
Leave, uh, leave it. I beg.
I agree. Who they want to leave each other for?
Leave it. I
No, they
beg.
should remain together. Let me go and comfort Kunle, please.
Therefore,
You
you
can
sit
Yeah,
down
send me his
there.
address.
Mazi, okay. I said sit down there.
I support you, Vanessa.
Who was like thanks. That was Uti, right? Was that Uti? I can't remember who.
No, that was
That
me.
was
So
mad.
Uti's
Okay,
next.
man.
All right, okay.
Stop mixing
Thanks so
up the
much.
women of
I'm
NSU.
sorry. I just wrote that. Uti, please tell us what you did not like about After 30.
Oh, okay. So I think mine is similar to what everyone has said before. I think the reason I didn't like this movie was because I had expectations from Before 30, and I just wanted it to go like a completely different direction, like for all the women in the movie. Because I remember, like, okay, the women in Before 30 were chaotic. They were chaotic. Oh, boy, I cannot even pronounce the word anymore. But they were chaotic, right? But like, I feel like we could see like growth, like as the series like went on. So for us to like regress that badly after 8 years was just like crazy to me. I remember seeing OC when we started the movie and I was like, oh my goodness, what is it? I love OC, but I was like, this one that they're bringing him back, something's going to happen. And then the romance with Timmy and Kuni starts, right? And I'm like, it ends in like 2 seconds. I'm like, why is it that quick? Because I was like, what's going on? I was expecting it to like last throughout the movie. So like once it ended early, I was like, God, I know what's going to happen with this movie. And then we continue with that. And then like I know like I see it happening and I'm like, okay, you do it the first time in the series, right? We are annoyed. We're like, why is it all foolish? Why is all of this? You did the second time, we're like, okay, I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to do it the third time, especially in the movie that comes out 8 years after. Cause I'm like, okay, it's two things. Either they find each other and then they end up together, or like you don't do it at all. Like, it just did not make any sense to me why that would have. And I feel like, okay, yes, they were trying to like connect them back to like their Before 30 characters, but I feel like you could have shown that Timmy was chaotic without like using the same storyline. Like, it wasn't fun. It was like I was just like, what is going on here? Like, you don't. Like, it was just very lazy. And I remember finishing the movie and I was like, wow, like the writers really hate these girls and I don't know why. Like, there was no reason for you to write their characters this way. I just expected a different storyline for every single person. I did not want Aisha to be with her man. Like, I'm just like, why are they still using the same like storylines 8 years after? Like, I feel like you can show that these women are still the same without using it. You can give like you can show like, oh, okay, after 8 years they are facing this problem, and then you show us how they are dealing with it 8 years after, rather than like, oh, they are dealing with it exactly the same way they did like 8 years before, which was like, it just did not make any sense to me. With Nkem's character, I was like, like in Before 30 they showed us that she could fall in love and she wanted that, and I was like, I was expecting that, okay, maybe in this, obviously after what the last man did to her, it would be very hard to find someone, but it would be very hard for her to like start the relationship with the person. But like, towards the end, maybe something comes out of it. There was none of that here. And I'm always complaining about like Nollywood movies ending with like weddings and like babies. But like for the first time I was like, please give us a wedding. Like, I think I came in with like the thought of this being a romance, and like what I got was a horror movie. And yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. So I think, as everyone said, it's very, very, very similar to what everyone else did. I think my expectations were just like, and that was mostly because there was a Before 30. If this movie was standalone, I probably wouldn't have had all of these thoughts, but because like there was already like something you guys already had, and it was like very lazy. Like, I don't understand why they did this, and maybe they did this because they want to milk it, because, as everyone said, this is very not concluded. This will probably have like a part 2, and they'll finally give us what we wanted from from part 1. But I'm like, if you're bringing it back, just tie up all loose, and there's no point of like doing all of that. There's no season 1, there's no part 1, part 2. Just like, you've ended it, just end it there. And they didn't do that, and that's why I didn't like this movie. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Uti. I hear you there, definitely. without revealing some of my things, but I share very strong feelings by the ending, like you do. Olamna, do you want to tell us what you did not like about After 30? I'm sure your list will be short, as somebody who was looking forward to this as well.
Short, okay. Me that I asked for 10 minutes to rant. I beg you. First of all, I just want Semi Coca to know that now fine, she no be good. The person that wrote this thing, it's like they just wrote as far as like they were in the mood for love from when she met Kunle till their whole romance thing. Then the next thing, fire just catch them for head. They just write drag crease. They just write and well put some miss. They were all scattering everywhere. It's like, man, everywhere all born. I was like, what is going on? First of all, Temi Coca, I don't know. This is like this behavior. First of all, Temi Coca comes from a very loving home. She has a mother that prays, that cares for her, that advises her. She has a father that loves her. So I don't understand what this fatherless behavior she was displaying was about. I just didn't get it. How can you have a nice, beautiful, sexy, loving, generous, rich man like Kunle on your papers, and then the next thing, you start following this home wrecker? I mean, is it not rather convenient that every time Temi is about to make some headway in her romantic life, Ayo will come from nowhere and just start professing? It's not that he doesn't even profess love. Now, Temi, the assistant, to profess the love on his behalf. I mean, do you guys know how many things that in my head while she and Ayo were talking, I was just singing, hey, then call me Mumu. I don't need sense to love. Oh, your love makes me a happy Mumu. I mean, babe, what are you doing? What do you mean somebody book Shiro restaurant for you, kiss you, let you out in the Shiro restaurant, and then all of a sudden it's Ayo that is indecisive, inconsiderate, and selfish? That's who you want to follow? Somebody that already have woman? Did they do you from village? Is it jazz? You cannot even recognize when marine spirits are sending one of their agents to come and destroy your life. I just did not get this character at all. Then she was now starting, the next time I started hearing was soulmates here, soulmates there. I would like to quote another thought leader and a great philosopher of our time in Black Bones, who said, and I quote, there ain't no soulmates. There ain't no one person out there that is for you. That is stupid as fuck, mate. And obviously, Temi was being very stupid the entire time in this movie. I want to knock this babe for her head because I couldn't believe it. And that was not the only stupid character in this entire thing. Once again, whoever it is that was in the writer's room, the person was trying to commit war crimes and they were successful. Because what did they do to Aisha and Nkem's characters? We left Aisha as somebody that was already singing, I gotta read the room on my head, I gotta read, because that depend on me. She was an independent woman, ladies and gentlemen. She had moved out of her husband's house because she was tired of rubbish. So we were about to have a proper woman that had herself and knew herself. The next thing, we came back to her for whatever reason. She went back to this husband, and then she now adopted his personality by being a selfish person. So selfish that she did not even know where her own problems stop and another person's own starts. She now started trying to be, I don't know, maybe because she give Nkem work, she can't say she'll feel they tell her one or two things. Because who gave you the audacity, the temerity, the impetus, the gall to come and start saying that somebody should not adopt shy just because you don't want shy? What concern me concern you need to real alone? Are we using, we a share man? Are we sharing one? But how it take concern you? How can you be impeding on another person's rights to actually have a child of their own? A grown somebody, 30-something-year-old woman for that matter, not be small picking. Now you go to try shank her, you are dodge. That's not the Aisha we knew from before 30. Nahaba. Who is this character? Who is this person? The whole time of the tube thing, it was so left field. But do you know what was even left her on the field? Nkem was not even left field, it was outside the field. We left the pitch. Ladies and gentlemen, we were playing 5x5 inside dressing room. That's how bad Nkem's own was. This one should not go left. At least if she started from beginning, maybe like 20 minutes into the film, she already behave somehow. I would have seen her own end coming. But like, 60 minutes in, 80 minutes in, I was like, oh God, and Kim is standing on business. I love her character. She's saying what needs to be said. She's giving it to this Aisha. She's right. And I was just thinking, okay, even if bad as it be, Kim will actually survive this thing. She'll be unscathed. The next thing, as that babe that said that she has not finished his please, I hope she's not here because I want to break her heart. The next thing we just saw, guys, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. The next thing, we just saw Nkem in Sheriff house from where to where. Please, our sexual liberation, we did not colonize ourselves to enter this kind of place. Please, we were not liberated to end up inside Sheriff house. We had ambition. We had, do you know our list of men that we have been with? We were with people like Kenneth Okoli. We were with Tiffany Kalu. The next thing, you drop us in Sheriff house. It's, God now, Haba. From where to where? How? It makes no logical sense. Nkem did not come off as somebody that was liberating herself in her friend's husband's house. Husband's house is not even a liberating thing. So how did Nkem find herself inside such a place? There was no explanation. Bro, they wanted to finish us mentally with this thing. And it's only Amma that was saved. God bless Amma and her fruity relationship. It was so nice and it scented nice. That was the only person that was somehow saved from this massacre. People's characters were bludgeoned. There were assassinations going left and right. Bodies were all over the movie set, guys. Then they did not now round it up. The one that was shouting soulmate, just small pregnancy, small baby. She said she's not doing it again. Very unserious soulmate. That's how you know that she was whining herself. Because if you people were soulmates, I promise you, even if Ayo was married with 5 children, you will crash that marriage. That's what soulmating is about. You cannot tell me that you are somebody's soulmate, and just because they brought, excuse me, have you heard of Alicia Keys and her husband, Swiss Beats? That's soulmating. Have you heard of J-Lo and Ben Affleck? I know it did not work the second time, but that is soulmating. It doesn't matter if this person was with somebody else at the time you were meeting the person. It doesn't matter if they had a child in college at the time you met. A soulmate means that you are there through thick and thin. Not that somebody just bring small baby something that you can even go and talk to her. Maybe if she's in the mood, maybe she can even do an abortion. She said, Governor Shide, what's she using Shide out of wedlock to do? She wants to do a baby mama? A whole rich bitch? What do you mean? This is somebody that if they were soulmates, Semi could have handled this like a proper adult, like a mature person. So that come inside, let's talk about it. Are you sure this is the path you want to go in life? Do you want to have a child with this man that abandoned you last minute before your marriage? Consider it. You are a young woman, you have Oxford degree, you have a life ahead of you, you are a fine girl, you can find man. In fact, what I even expected Semi to do was to call her and link her up with Kunle so that they can have something. At least let it not be like they left 2 people outside of relationship. They could have just done exchange. That's what I expected. Instead, I just heard, I'm not cut out for this. I can't do this. You enter plane and then you fly all the way to go and disturb Kunle. I hope that Kunle, I noticed that Kunle was shirtless in that scene. I hope there was already a woman in that room. Because it don't make sense that this coca lady will just show up. And then after she dump you, she now decides she can come back in. Ayo lies. Now she be female Ayo. Now Ayo, they teach this babe walk. Ayo don't spoil her life. She won't come spoil Kunle life again. Kunle, let me just let you know that I would never do something like that to you. I would never. This Temi girl, she do too much. It's bomb she has. She's not God. Somebody should not be treating fine boy like you like that. It's so unfortunate what was done to each and every character in this series. I don't even know if the person that was writing it, maybe they did not tell them that it's film that they want to do. They now decided to write this thing like it's another thing that the way they ended it, like, oh, there's going to be a season 3. Then maybe they will bring one Jide boy to come and do relationship with Semi again. Then Ayo will come back and scatter Jide and Semi again. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, because me, I don't understand. Please, if you know that you were involved in writing this, I just want to tell you that there are people that are currently facing jail time in Kirikiri. They did not commit the crimes you committed. I just want to let you know that what you did is they are supposed to lock you in Arkham. They are supposed to lock you inside. In fact, inside maximum security prison, and then even when you die, they will still put chain around your grave. Then you will still go to heaven and answer to God, because Before 30 was such a great work of art, and you scattered it. You scattered these girls that we had such great memories of, and for what? Because of Ayo? Please, everybody should heal. Heal. If you know that you have somebody in your life that you have not forgotten, heal. Don't bring it to us on screen. We are tired. Haba. Guys, I'm done.
Okay, all right. The people, all the people I'm giving rants here, they are big fans of Before 30. Clearly something's in the water. All right, Wildflower, please tell us what you do not like about After 30.
So for me, it's like I know they were trying to bring some kind of disruption to Temi's life. Like something had to happen. Her life was going too well, like she'd found the perfect man. Something had to happen. But the writers couldn't they think deeper? So typically in this type of movies, one of such things will happen. Maybe the guy will cheat on her, or maybe there'll be an introduction of a woman or a child from somewhere from his past. Something will happen, but they just lazily went to bring Ayo from somewhere. And the bond that she had with Ayo was nothing to write home about, if I can remember clearly, because yes, from the first episode of Before 30, that was when Ayo left her life. I mean, she was excited that he was going to propose, but he was not ready to propose. So he left her life and then came back when he wanted to disrupt her, like her engagement or what with the second guy she wanted to get married to. So why did they bring him again? So they were looking for like a strong path, like something strong they could use to hook Ayo into her life. And I'm wondering why, because Kunle is hotter, finer, richer, sexier. So how did it come out? Do you get what I'm saying? When I was looking at her kissing Ayo, I was like, oh my, this thing is not going well. So they now brought in the whole soulmate thing, like she can't get over him. It just did not sleep well. It did not. If it was an icing, it did not tally well on the cake. So maybe it was and just something for us to think about. Maybe they should have brought in something that about her life, that made her not to continue with Kunle, but it shouldn't have been Ayo or something, right? Who else again? Beverly. I think Beverly's character has always been consistent so far. I just get the parts why I could not get why Aisha did not want Beverly to have a child. Granted that she didn't think that Aisha could sorry, she didn't think that Beverly, that's Nkem, she didn't think that Nkem was going to be a good mother. But going that far to kind of like stop the process, I was wondering why. So in my head I started putting two and two together, and I was thinking maybe because Nkem wanted a son, and the Tobechuku that she was going for was a little boy. Maybe her and Sheriff were doing something together, and so Sheriff wanted a boy too. So if Nkem had this boy, Sheriff would be much more, drawn to Nkem or something. But it was never stated anywhere that, Sheriff and Nkem were, interacting outside. In fact, it was Aisha that was bringing them together. But I remember a part in Before 30 where, Aisha brought a gift from her husband to Nkem. I don't know if you guys remember that part. So she was like, they were having dinner, and then she was like, oh, my husband sends you this as the congratulations and stuff like that. So maybe something happened, or Sheriff was fancying her or something like that. Yeah, maybe that was what happened. But that part did not gel well. And maybe if we had seen the struggles that she went through during childbirth, or if they had touched on that part just a little bit, then we'll have a clearer idea on why she decided to take that drastic step in tying her womb or something like that. At first I thought it was because she didn't want her husband to keep going for a male child and trying to pressure her for a male son. But now I realized that she didn't even want to bear any child at all. But my final ask or concern is what's the next step in the movie? Is it going to be another movie again that we're going to wait for the next 8 years to come out, or is there going to be a series? I thought it was going to be another episode coming out every week. Maybe somebody from maybe one of the characters, could answer us. I think Asa is here. He was here before. Maybe he could answer us and help us. I beg, are we going to see another movie in in the nearest future?
All right. Thanks, Wildflower. A lot of people not rooting for it. All right, Elizabeth, do you want to tell us what did not work for you, what you didn't like in After 30?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said most of what I'll say. So I'll keep it light, right? I'll start with, I miss Federal Palace as a character, honestly. All of this location that we were going to was very impersonal for me. To me, because if you have a bunch of friends, I'm not speaking for everyone. Please don't hold me to my words. But I mean, if you're my friend on this call, you know I've taken you to Rodo in Abuja, or me, Uncle T's. So if you know me in this Abuja, you know you will go to those two places. I just feel like for girlhood, right? There is that their joint, their place. I really miss seeing Federal Palace as an actual character, because these girls go to Federal character to go and gossip. They will just, Federal Palace rather, they will just go there, sit down and gossip. And then when they finish gossiping and laughing at their life and their stupid life choices, they leave. Which brings me into the dialogue. Why did I like Before 30 then? I still like it again. Is the fact that these girls were saying about darn anything. And each person's character comes through during the dialogue. Annie being, naive, Nkem just being so like so bold, the things she says, right? And all of this, and if it adds layers to these characters, it has like a lot of layers to the characterization, which is missing here, because the dialogue here seems so almost flat, and it seems like all of them say quite about the same thing. Okay, maybe again apart from Anicha's character. But everybody seems, there is not that individuality that we saw prior to now in each person's character. As in, when Aisha and Nkem Konde talk, I was so like, really? I didn't see this part. I didn't expect it. So again, the dialogue, it wasn't exactly original to characterization. It just felt like people sat down to decide to write things, hoping that, the audience would, I don't know, jive with it as such. I really didn't like the dialogue. That's basically the long and short of it. If you guys watched, I want to say, okay, this movie, it sets up nothing. And I know what they're trying to achieve. Now, Sex and the City did movie after they did that long kidney. But there's something about Sex and the City. And again, because our Carrie Brasher's character was very chaotic, and she makes the darndest stupid, but the thing is that all the stupid decisions that she made, or she was fond of making, she justifies everything in a way that makes sense. Even though if you wouldn't do that, it doesn't make sense to the rest of the world. It makes sense to that stupid character, right? And our stupid relationship with Mr. Big, which I will never forgive. So let's bring it to Before 30 and After 30 is Timmy's character. In the first one, she had a mission. It was to marry before she was 30. And I think it set a pace for the entire story, right? She opened it up with the wedding of our cousin was 26, getting married, or 24. And then she at that place, and she had to count down because they were really showing us the counting, how many days she has to 30, right? And with this one, it just, again, maybe because it was done that way, it also makes sense that nobody passed that test where women don't talk about men, because that's the entirety of that show. And we saw how they all navigated relationship, and everybody has mentioned, Vanessa has mentioned it, especially around Nkem's own, and everybody's, the way they treated relationship. But here, it's very chaotic in the sense that there isn't exactly a central plot to what these ladies are doing after their 30. So we're looking at these, the assumption is that, let's say, when we left off, they were like 2029, when we left off. And now they are 8 more years. They're 36. They're rather mid-30s. Mid-30s. You're going to be 40 soon. And as somebody who also is in mid-30s, and I have friends making very silly decisions in their big old age, it just feels here that they were stuck in in a kind of mentality. But at least back then, they had the vision, we have to marry. But you're 30 now. I'm 30 and I hate romance. But somehow, you fell in love within the first 15 minutes of this film. And it happened in such a way where I don't get it. So now we don't even know what's going on with it. After 30, so what? It seems as okay, they want to navigate life after 30. It just seemed so scattered. Let me use that word. Like it was almost pointless. And again, because this film, it's a film now, it's a feature film and not a series. The movie is written as though these events that are happening should be episodic. And that's why it feels like Mewa and Shele. Things were just happening. Like before you blink, like another thing has happened, another thing has happened, another thing has happened. Like every scene was like carefully curated plot lines that has to happen. But it's very difficult to tie together because this film sets up nothing. It sets up nothing, not the romance. In fact, I don't know who mentioned that this film basically took similar things that happened in the series. The way she met Akin's character in Before 30 is how she met Kunle, more or less. Of course, she's seen his naked body in the market, but she met him at work. Here to meet Kunle at work. And the whirlwind romance did not even romance because nothing was set up. They're both fine people individually, but nothing was set up for me to really be convinced that it happened so quickly and now they're engaged, right? I know that they wanted to get that out of the way to make way for the conflict with Ayo coming back. But it felt so, it rented that the entire Shirley girls a bit way, and they had this kiss. Next thing, he was proposing. Next thing, she's getting married. It's difficult for me to feel anything for these characters. It's very difficult. I was so bored. For 3 minutes into this film, I had to check the time. It felt as though nothing was happening. It was as though the entire, for the first act, second act was was gearing us up for things that it still didn't, elevate properly or executed properly. I was bored I was at my wit end. I was like, I was just enjoying the beauty, very, very beautiful gowns happening here. But this film sets nothing up, not the romance, not the conflicts. So it's a lot of conflicts are contrived. A lot of things were contrived here. Let's talk about Annie's character coming into money in the weirdest way. So next thing, again, that's why I said it feels like this is written to be like, the events are written to be episodic. She was in bed. Next thing, like, oh, our godmother died. Next thing we see, our friends come out, oh, my godmother didn't have kids. And I'm really just the only child. Yeah, you have money now. Ooh, we have money now. And I just like, I don't know. Was she dealing with not having money previously? Because the way she was set up prior was that she's so naive and she's a Jesus baby. She never had sex before. She wants to have a man, but she doesn't know how to navigate that. But now she's in her 30s, in her mid-30s. She's coming into money. She's now baking pancakes. I really, honestly, as much as I like everyone else, I echo that I love our own romance or non-romance or whatever, but the tension between herself and her friend, but nothing, again, is set up properly. Did you guys watch the last I did watch the last episode of Before 30 before I watched After 30. There was that scene where Timmy was so heartbroken. After breaking her own heart, but you understand, like Aki was not in town. She was not following Ayo up and down. Went to Federal Palace to go eat with Ayo. And then Aki saw it and Aki was heartbroken, like, Aki, I love you. And she was crying in the middle of the road. And that scene, and that's one single scene, is more impactful than the entire 2 hours of this film. That's one single scene. And that episode was called Great Mistake or Big Mistake, #Bugwe. And these people we saw that that's why I feel like this thing is written to be episodic. They made stupid errors and it was individual because they're naive. I get that what they were trying to do is improve upon Before 30 in the sense that they probably did not establish the character at least in their work. So now they show us their work and their elements and they want to say, oh, how can friends be and there won't be tension? Of course there's tension in friendship. And guys, and also that sometimes the tension is not there, go. The tension is like you told that one something you didn't tell me. That's most, or you have a friend who doesn't like to hear advice. I get where they were trying to go for here. but a lot of the drama was contrived. It wasn't properly written. And again, it brings us to, when you don't set things up, you want your audience to connect to these characters. You're giving us these characters from before 30, we can relate to them in some way, in a level. But here, we really can't level up with them. They're unlikable. Temi Temi is not unlikable in the cute way, like Carrie Bradshaw kind of cute, or unlikable as per Temi from the first time kind of cute. This is just characters who are unlikable. And I will round up now. And Nkem's character and Aisha's character, they made them to be so horrible to each other. And I felt, when I was watching it, it was not embarrassment I was feeling, it was sadness. I was really sad at the turn of events, because this Aisha used to tell them so much stuff. In Before 30 was much more of her husband pushing her boundaries when it comes to sex, right? Things she wouldn't have done. And it's not because she's conservative. She's just not that kind of person to go on menage a trois. He just wants to be doing that. And this was one of the biggest things that was threatening their relationship. Now, we've turned it over the head to make her such an asshole. Now, conservative husband is going to take her kid. Anyways, I don't know what's going on here. I was bored. I was just happy for a safe journey, but I was very also happy to see the girls again.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Elizabeth. I'm just going to read some comments before we go to Atas and Mrs. C. Snack Season said the girls' characters were really butchered. Instead of growth, they regressed. It was pathetic to see Temi as a supposed grown woman called out Were Ayo her soulmate. And I'm not sure what the plan going forward is, but I'm not sure Nkem and Aisha's friendship can recover. Best African actor says Aisha tying her tubes while informing her husband is all shades of wrong. She's married, not a single woman. Aisha trying to decide for Nkem as regards the adoption, she had no right. I hope Kunle Ortega never took that confused lady back. She's a big red banana. All right. Snack Season also continues, After 30 wasn't boring, it was infuriating. It's a sequel to a really good TV series. It's supposed to tie up loose ends, not scatter everything. The storyline was disappointing. It felt like a really good daydream that developed into a fever dream. Wow. All right. Okay. Atas, do you want to tell us some of the things that did not work for you after 30?
Yes. I should have just closed my television earlier, honestly. Um, the last 30 minutes of this movie, Nollywood and third act problem, they go hand in hand. So I was expecting something to go wrong. I just did not expect things to go wrong at the level that they went wrong. Oh my God. Initially, I thought I benefited from either not remembering before 30 or not watching it, because I generally didn't hate it. I actually was enjoying myself. It was a nice, chill ride, funny rom-com-ish, friends figuring life out together. And then in the last 30 minutes, the writer is just on acid because I don't know what is going on. I blink and Temi is living this gorgeous, gorgeous man and running out of a bridal shop naked. For what reason? Because some ex from like 10 years ago shows up. It was all of these women just started making decisions or saying things and doing things that were based on nothing, didn't make any sense, and weren't even set up in the line of this movie. And maybe I'm missing some context from the show. Um, the whole Aisha being so involved in her adoption and feeling that she had the right to block the adoption without talking to her, talking to any of their friends. Like, they go from friends who are having open conversations to people who are making these big decisions without speaking to each other at all. And it just doesn't make sense. Because if I want a baby so bad and you feel like you have the right to block my adoption, unfortunately, my only recourse is going to be sleeping with your husband. Because from where to where, like, why do you feel like you have that right? And it's just not set up in that way. even watching this, I do think a more natural progression, honestly, is in Kim becoming Sheriff's second wife. Just because, first of all, she doesn't seem to have a problem with dating couples. She's generally more open sexually, and she wants kids. They both want kids, and they're friends. I don't know. That seemed like the more better conclusion for me. However, everything has kind of gone haywire. I'm very confused by the end of this. Timmy leaves her boyfriend to go and be a side chick. I don't know what is happening. They go from women figuring out life in a cute, fun way to just genuinely unlikable and unhinged. But on the upside, Kunle is gorgeous, so it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Atas. Mrs. C.
Okay.
You have a list? Wow.
Kind of. I have a list. First of all, to everybody and all people that have been talking about the end of Before 30, when we don't know whose room she was going to, or she went to somebody's room and it's this guy. It's Ayo's room. She went to Ayo's room.
Not according to the film.
From 100
Not
years ago,
according to
this
the people.
this Temige don't have sense, right? It's Ayo's room. Me, I watched Before 30 for the first time before watching this, right? So me, it's still fresh. I saw this babe running to hotel room. I was listening to her narration.
She covered shoe.
Shoe. Run up this, run. She don't take the lift. Like time was running out. See that, do this in mistakes are this, mistakes are that. Yeah. But sometimes you gotta embrace the mistake. I'm sorry, all of you are delusional. She said you gotta embrace the mistake.
She ran to her.
She said embrace the mistake. She did not have sense. She knocked that door. And if nothing else, I'm like, wait, I will even forgive if all of you not remember, you know what you did this thing. Because me, I watched this thing. I watched this film when they showed this her man's, Akin buy a house. Akin bought house. His ex was talking about how he refused to buy house. He was living in a hotel the whole time. Akin bought house. Her friends told her, I thought Ayo sold his house. Yeah, he's been staying in a hotel. She went to hotel. She went to Ayo's house. Room. Everybody be guided. She follow Ayo.
Not according to the film.
They retconned, and that leads me to my next point, ladies and gentlemen. The way they retconned everything that happened in episode 7. I could have just skipped episode 7 and started after 30 because nothing that happened in episode 7 mattered in after 30, right? Episode 30 ended cliffhanger show, right? And I know I can guess the idea was we're moving on to, they wanted to do season 2, right? And if they're going to do season 2, well, they don't want to end everything nice and tidy, right? They need to leave things open. They need to have her go to Ayo and then have this back and forth between Ayo and Akin. Although again, why would she be doing that when she was crying heart-wrenching cries when Akin left her? But whatever, right? Cool. They wanted to do that. But when we get to after 30, they're like, forget about it. Forget it. No. She got together with Akin. What's her face? This babe, Aisha and Sheriff. This Aisha and Sheriff situation, the way they retconned it, they say don't think about it. Let me not say retcon. Maybe retcon is not the right word. But they shall say no to reason. Because when we leave Aisha, we literally spend episode 7, right? With Aisha. I'm sorry, were you all people all not there when my guy said she should go in that room and eat pussy with tears in the eye? Right? My guy said, I don't care if you are interested or not interested, get your ass in there. I'm sorry, is this the guy we are doing? Sheriff is the best husband in the world? No, obviously. No,
Maybe I could watch Before 30 because that sounds hilarious.
This is the guy? That's the guy? Are we insane?
He changed now. He clearly changed.
Are we
Come
insane?
on, dear.
Man can
Are
change.
we insane? They
Please.
say the guy changed. In fact, they say Sheriff, when we ended episode 7, let me go back. Sheriff went to her mommy's house. Her mommy say, don't mind her. She knows she cannot come back home. She knows she cannot stay here. Sheriff was still fronting and forming with, you see what I have to put up with. Right? Sheriff say, you see what I have to put up with. Homegirl now went crying to Ama's house because truly, her mommy says she cannot live here. And she has gone to her friend's house. That's how we ended this. We now saw, Sheriff say he love her, he will not look at that woman again. She now enter her house and born. I'm so confused. Very confused. But okay, cool. It happened. We moved on. But, are we acting like her friends did not know any of this? Because again, all these girls keep going, but Sheriff is such an amazing husband. Oh, Sheriff is the best. I know the bar for men is in the gutter. But it's like these writers forgot that this woman used to talk to her friends and her friends knew this. They forgot that Sheriff was trying to coerce her into sexual activities she did not consent to. They said, this is the best husband in the world. How fucking dare you?
Can I say that Beverly didn't want to sleep with Sheriff, but on principle?
Literally on principle. You know what?
That she is a good man.
On principle, he's a good man though. Not even, I don't even want to sleep with your man, but I'll do because you're a bitch. No, because he's a good man, and as such, I will offer him some virgin.
You don't deserve it.
You don't deserve him. You don't deserve that man. You don't deserve that man that you give him one small threesome. He say you will fuck the whole of Lagos. This is why men don't deserve nice things. But moving on. Anywho, it's like these writers forgot all of these things that happened. Moving back to Aisha, I don't know who mentioned it. I don't know if it was you. That was like, it's just inconsistent that because she used to go to the girls, right? Aisha went to these girls with everything, right? She would talk to her friends about washing underwear, right? She talks to her friends about her challenges with washing underwear. What should I do? Aisha told her friends, it took her a while, right? Because she was embarrassed, but she told them about the threesome-ish and was like, what can I do? Right? What's the thing? And these were her friends that had her back. And I remember Kim saying, just tell him it was a one-time thing and you're not going to do it again. Straight up, easy. It was like, this is not the person that is tying her tubes without having a conversation with one of her gal them. Not that she needs permission from one of the gal them, but if you have a group of friends or if you have close girlfriends, you know that I don't see, there are some shoes I will not buy without getting some feedback from a couple of my gal them. It's not tying my tubes. I will just travel to Switzerland and I've tied it. And I'll tell you the next day. So if you die on the operating table, why two of us went to Switzerland together and now it's me that follow you and travel? It didn't make sense, right? It didn't make sense. Again, they forgot who these people were. I still cannot forgive them for Sherry's characterization because what do you mean? The guy we watched in part 1, she was like, I struggle with telling Sheriff things. This is the same person that is still, I struggle with telling Sheriff things. Well, remember, she's like, I tried to tell him that she wants to walk. He said, you will not walk. You will do this one. This is the same person that is still, that became Sheriff to Nkem's car. I don't understand. It's like, who are these people and what are you writing and why? I'm going to move on to my ship, Amma and the chef. I appreciate having some sapphic romantic representation. I appreciate the longing. I appreciate all of that. That was the only ship I was interested in watching in the whole film. They now gave me crumbs. Just sprinkle some here, sprinkle some here, and then move on to these other people doing dumb shit in their 30s. Sprinkle it to be, back to these people doing dumb shit. And then, I appreciate it happened, but it also feels like being grateful for the bare minimum because you give me sapphic romance, not even one kiss. I'm sorry. I know that Amma had the things she was struggling with, whatever, but I felt like this was the people behind this thing trying, but still being cowardly in execution. Because you're not telling me Amma's character would have not at least had one kiss. At least one kiss. No, not even a kiss. Not even a kiss. And then she's like, oh no, I'm going to go back to Jesus. Not even, like you told me at the start of this thing that Amma likes getting eaten up. You not tell me that the chef cannot eat. You not tell me, you not give me a little bit, just small, sprinkle it. Because I'm seeing the straight couples, I'm seeing you grabbing tight, grabbing this, opening here, opening there. One kiss for Amma and chef. No. I'm supposed to be grateful for the bare minimum of sprinklings.
That's right.
So, okay, we'll manage. But if it's to give me sheriff, you will give me sheriff. You will tell me Nkem. Okay, cool. Moving on to Nkem's character. This person hated all these babes, I'm telling you. Moving on to Nkem's character. Again, this is just me going on about how they butchered all these people. It's sure, Nkem's heartbroken. But again, it feels like such a narrow, when they tried to give these people dimension, they made them narrow. Right? They said, okay, let's give them jobs because they were a little bit unemployed in before 30, which again, all they were doing was looking for husband. I don't need the backstory. It's cool. They were a little unemployed in before 30, so they tried to give them jobs and give them employment. They gave Amma money from somewhere. I did not even care because if you had told me Amma is governor's daughter and she just has money like that, I would have believed because people would not tell me anything before 30. I don't know what these people do, except that this one used to draft contracts. But again, the type of law that Temi used to practice, I don't know because only she divorce lawyer, only she property law, only she corporate law. Temi, lawyer of the world. She can do it all while serving beauty. Well done. Anywho, remove your hand. Sorry, I'm coming. Anywho, and we move on to Nkem. They don't know how to handle sexually liberated plus high powered, right? Without making her into some sort of caricature, right? It was because all that jumping from, oh, she's going to have a baby. Or how do you plan on doing it? Are you just going to keep, fucking till you get pregnant? And she tells off everybody and she's like, I'm going to do what I want. But then she goes, I froze my eggs for a time like this. It's like, okay, she's thought this through, right? She froze her eggs in time, right? I'm sure she still has a few eggs, but why go through the retrieval process again, right? Just do you, boo. No, now we have an office scene with a bunch of shirtless men. Like, I don't understand. Why are there a bunch of men that look broke without shirts in this woman's office while she's, and then we jump to adoption. And then okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Apparently I'm supposed to give this thing back the phone. But yes, anywho, in summary, yes. Oh, just one quick one. This one is a nitpick. And while I have time for a nitpick, this one is a nitpick. When Aisha was dressed in white with the turban, why did she have cleavage? Aisha has been covering her hair in this film. Why are we having cleavage with, it's like, do you, like, as a non-hijabi, I've become haram police because why am I seeing her breasts?
All right. Thank you. Chai. All right. So my list, things I don't like. Let's start with some of the small things. Oh, before I even get to things I don't like, I do have to say, I in the things when I said it carries the spirit, it carried some really nice things on here that after 30 carried some nice things on from before 30 as well that I liked. Like they tried at least a couple of different types of different filmmaking thing. I remember like when Dami's character makes Osi's character in the wedding this and they do that lips thing where they're not really kissing but their mouths are really close to each other. I don't know what it is, but then it felt like a different environment. I liked it, before 30 had a lot more different filmmaking, almost experimental things like that sometimes it didn't always work, but yeah, it had that, and it was also quite hot, like sexy, both of them. So I forgot to say that in my good, so let me say that now. All right. The things I did not like. All right, let's start with the cartoon they start with at the beginning. Can I just say that cartoon does not do justice to Dami's face? I mean, it would have been very difficult to be honest, but it really, really falls in terms of, I was like, oh, is that supposed to be Dami? Oh my goodness. And it was. I can't believe it. That was not great. Can I say another very small nitpicky thing for me, that TV video call between Dami, and, it's TV video call now. I don't know why you keep on doing it. It reminded me of Fine Wine, which is a sin on its own. It's a sin on its own, to be honest. Also, I didn't keep I don't know why we're doing this. Why are these TV cameras? They're not even showing. Okay, all right. Anyway, just put camera on top now. Put something that even if the camera is not working, just put camera on top so that we can go. Oh yeah. It's a small something. Just do it, please. Also, Insa and RMD in Fine Wine doing that scene. One of the worst scenes in Fine Wine to remind me of that scene. Small scene. Oh, that's for me. The next thing, there's a point where Beverly started dancing, where I think they were all in their gym, this thing. I can't believe they didn't take a moment to recreate the dance that all four of them were doing in I can't remember if it was episode 1 or episode 2 from the series, where it felt like a moment that should have been called back. And it was just being part of these characters where here they are doing, having fun together. Cause I didn't see a lot of them really all bonding together like I did in the series. Now, I think one of the things that, I said from, was that I said in the good that it carries the spirit of Before 30. And I really do think that, especially like it does have romance and it does have comedy in it. However, there are just some things that don't land as well. I think there's some things that are tolerable, acceptable, bearable to do in your late 20s. And when you start doing them in your mid 30s, I'm like, all right, come on now. And everybody has spoken about it, with Dami's character. I think it's okay to do that soulmate thing in your 28, 29.
24.
20. No, they were 29, 20, she was 28 or 29 she was 29 in the series. Hey, you can forgive it. To be honest, it's a little much at 29, to be honest, is a little much. And in your mid 30s, you're really pushing,
when you have experienced your fiance have died, everything, you're still like,
you're really pushing it for me. There's some texting in this that is very confused and confusing. When, Dami is texting Ayo, sorry, I'm mixing up actors' names and characters' names. I shouldn't do that. When Dami's, Kemi. Okay, I don't know. When Kemi is texting Ayo, I think it's just showing Ayo, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that Ayo responds at some point, but everything is just coming under one person's name, and that confused me quite greatly. And I don't know why it's such a small thing. I just don't think that thing was done properly. The texting part. All right. Okay. I think this is, the next thing I have on my list is, something that a lot of people have talked about that they liked. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of, Kabiri's send-off, to be honest. I would have been fine with the cartoon send-off, I think. There's something to me that it really doesn't sit well with me with the send-off for two things, right? So the first thing is, they basically took the Black Panther 2 route, right? Where you're sending off this person and you're actually doing a proper funeral for them. But if you remember in Black Panther, right? Black Panther's babe is, what's her name? Lulu. Lupita, right? Mm-hmm. Lupita isn't looking for a new man in Black Panther. Yep. What's sending him off properly? Like, this character is going as a king. Mm-hmm. His wife, his person is sad throughout the whole movie. And even like, I think she has Bella at the end or something. It's on at the end, right? Like, here's the person who would potentially take after him. In this, two things happen. Number one, we do the funeral, but then like literally, like I think it's 2 scenes later because they do like a small montage of, I can't see love anymore. And then she meets the next guy. I don't know how, I'm sorry. Oh, Carrie, oh, the love of my life. Oh, here's the next new love of my life.
And that's my soulmate.
That does not say well with me. I'm sorry. That's not doing that. That's not the respect I feel like that character deserved. The second thing is they now use it for OCKJ's funeral. When OCKJ,
Why was he at the funeral?
when OCKJ came in that funeral, I was like, oh no, this is just so much worse. You're using it for stupid drama, and like you've now also replaced Kabiri's character, who we thought was the guy, with OCKJ, and OCKJ has come here to establish himself as soulmate. I was like, no, now, come on now. This is not, I'm sorry. I know how to be honest, I don't think the aim was I don't think they thought past it after the let's do the whole Black Panther 2 type thing where we'll give him a proper burial, the character a proper burial. And I think that just stopped there, because what comes after this for me is not a good send-off, and I don't like that at all. It doesn't sit well with me. It was sour in my mouth. I know like some people, it didn't bother anybody, but that's how it did it for me. All right. The other thing, the men of after 30. I'm sorry, you guys don't hold the candle to the men of before 30. In almost every way. I'm sorry when, is it Kunle or Kola? A big,
Sharky.
You
Temi's
watch
new,
yourself. Watch yourself.
Temi's
Before you
new
say
guy.
anything negative about Conway.
I'm sorry when he came on. I was like, this guy doesn't look like the guy. He does not look like the guy. He looks like a bartender. He looks like a hot bartender, right? Like one of those, he did not look like, he was not giving me, this is person who is going to be lead for this. It's the way he's styled. I'm sorry. He's like, I feel like he's supposed to be this really rich person with who is running a big company and just oozing in crazy amount of wealth, and the hair and the beard, all of that just gives hot bartender. That's it. And then it just kept on moving. To be honest, I wasn't surprised, because the way the script treats this character, I mean, like, I wasn't surprised. Like, say, Mrs. C was watching with me. When it came out, I said it with my full chest. And then the movie goes on to justify that. I was like, oh, he isn't active. The film doesn't care about this guy. Sidelines him, puts him to the corner. I was like, all right, yeah, because OC is going to be the real person. The film, say what you want, but the film doesn't respect the guy. It doesn't respect the character, didn't treat him right, didn't give him, what does he have to do? Doesn't give him any real cool lines, like nothing. Go watch the original series, the Before 30, series. And I think that's where something, even when in Before 30, I think some lines, I felt, a little cringe in 2025. Didn't sit well with me. Number one, there was still actually a couple of hits as well, to be honest, that land. But at least there was an attempt to, they're going to give these people's lines to try and swoo, and they're putting lines. This guy doesn't have anything. He's not going off anything. And what it feels like this film is trying to do is just revive the ghosts. It's trying to do the romance. It's just sitting on the shoulders of the Before 30, and like I said, it does carry a lot of the spirit, but the romance side, I just don't think, with the exception of Annie's this thing, I just don't think it does well. Go Gideon. The series has Gideon, it has Kabiri, and then OC. Like, these are all three, in terms of the acting, in terms of like the aura, these people were different levels. This guy opened shit for you. All of you have forgotten your senses. People want to take care of him. People want to, but like, what did he bring on this, in the film? What did he bring? Nothing.
It's okay. He brought his beauty.
You guys you guys did not, they did not do this guy, they did not like they didn't like his character, they didn't like anything about it. So, yeah, and then the final thing was, everybody has touched it, even though as much as I like, um, uh, especially the first bits, the characters do somewhat grow up in some aspects, but that last 30, 40 minutes it just feels like different people. It felt like they wanted to make the girls have a fight and scatter, but they didn't do it within the people they had told us. It just felt like these aren't the girls that grew up. Like we could have this fight. Yeah, in the kind of space that they had it in the public is like it hasn't happened. They haven't had this fight. Like, so what was it that caused this thing to happen? And this wasn't it. What caused it was not enough for me. So yeah, that's how I felt about, those are the things that did not work for me. All right. So Vanessa,
Sorry,
Vanessa,
I have my hands up because there's still things to talk about. I finished, I remember something that was on my list, and then something you said, something Mrs. C said brought it up. And it was about how much these girls talked to the people in their lives about the things they were going through. And you know one that pained me? Temi and her mom. I loved Temi and her mom's relationship in Before 30. Her mom was her confidant. You know that scene where Temi is rolling on the ground, throwing up and crying? Iconic scene. But you know another iconic scene? Mommy Temi lying down flat on her chest to beg Aki for her daughter. I'm sorry. How is Temi walking around this Lagos claiming that Ayo is her soulmate? And Mommy Temi does not know. Mommy Temi does not know. I'm sorry, who wrote this show? I'm sorry, the Mommy Temi that I know is not going to not set her eyes on her daughter for 3 days straight. That scene that they showed Temi's mommy be like, Temi Lola is a liar. Mommy Temi will look for her child. Mommy Temi will find out what is going on. You can't just see people that you have made in a previous series and dabarubo everything. Because how do you have these women who were incredibly open? It almost, because of the seriatic nature of the show, right? We always got a couple things down pat every episode. Temi and her mom having conversations and gisting. Even if it was a brief gist, even if she didn't want to tell her mommy all the things, she still told her mommy some things. And then when she met up with her girls at Federal Palace, she told her girls all the things. And all the girls told their girls all the things. These girls are not talking to each other. They're not talking to anybody in their lives. What is this sequel? And Mr. C, as much as I do love Asa Samuel, and I think he's incredibly hot, I agree with you. This film does not like him at all. You cut me off because I was going to talk about how you bring this guy and you make him seem like he's our end game. Asa Samuel does not have up to 5 minutes screen time in this film. What was the
He
point?
had no individuality. Like,
Nothing. We
we
know
don't know
nothing
him.
about this man. We know nothing about why he likes her so much, to the point where he's asking Sheriff about her. We know nothing about this. They just giving us surface level shit. Even with Amma and her babe, we see the palpable tension. We see the chemistry there in the things that she says, in the way she looks at her. But we don't understand why you like her so much, except for the fact that she was there for her through all of this. But we don't see how they develop a friendship. Sorry, I don't know why I'm whatever. I don't see why they don't show us how they develop this friendship enough to the point where her friends are like, Amma is so close to this person and we don't know why Amma's so close to this person. Again, these girls will not be developing new friendships / relationships and not having a conversation with their girls about it. None of it makes sense. You're treating these what is supposed to be impactful moments in these characters' lives as throwaway. And you're just moving on to the next incredibly massive thing happening to them without dealing with the other incredibly massive thing that just happened like 2 minutes ago. And I agree with you. Whatever that early 5 minutes funeral was, the minute you do a flashback and show Ayo walk in the presence of his family and her family at this man's funeral and has the effrontery to say even he knew I was your soulmate.
Oh my God, I thought I dreamt that.
It
That
was
was
a
a
real
real
scene, not
scene.
as you didn't dream it. It was a real scene. How does that then show respect to Karibi Fubara as a person? If you're saying Ayo into the scene and then using it as what? As what? For what? What was the reason? In fact, well, everybody will be all right. Mr. C is on mute again. My G, how long have you been hosting this thing? You don't know how to mute and unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
the host is having connection issues, so
Oh,
welcome
host
to
is having
my,
connection issues. Oh,
yeah.
period.
All right, so Alana, can you go on?
I can't hear Ola now.
Can't hear Olana. Okay, sorry. The yappers have it. Thank you very much. So, yapping in Isha, yapping format. I want to also build on, what's it called? Asa's character, the fact that he lacks individuality. That's the reason why I felt nothing for that relationship. And honestly, let me not lie to you guys. That one that people are like, oh, why will you betray him for Ayo? I don't care. Because I didn't even know this.
Okay, can people hear? Can people?
Yes.
I guess it's can I hear people, to be honest, but yeah, I think I heard the test. Thank you. All right. Okay. I
If
think
people
last
say
time.
something bad about Kunle again, your internet's off. Just be cautious.
No more, no more, no more.
Okay. All right. I think Elizabeth was speaking before Elon decided to do Rapture. Uh,
No, not speaking bad of Kunle's character. Just want to say that, maybe because of the writer. Now, hear this, the writer. The writer did not give Kunle a personality. We don't know who he is outside of a fine boy. Notes fine boy perfect, 100/100. But because we don't know who this fine boy is, it was very difficult to get into the romance between him and Timmy. I'm like, whatever, she's back with Aya because that is our soulmate. She has said it, she has behaved it. Do you know that I was actually hoping for Aya to be the end game? I thought that this will give us some kind of growth. When I saw Ayo again, I was hoping that the writer came to their senses and saw that, you know what, maybe like Carrie Bradshaw and Mr. Big, maybe Ayo and this babe, Timmy, they are perfectly toxic together and they deserve to be together. That would have made sense because they could have tied it up perfectly, in which they were both foolish people when they were in their 20s and now they realize that they are soulmates and Timmy is an asshole and she's going to just do hasslery stuff to Mr. Conley and we're all yad yad yad. But even the people in the writer's room, they were very confused as to what to do with these characters. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, we've seen a lot of flawed but likable characters. I mean, sometimes I go back to Sex and the City and I'm like, how desperately unhinged Carrie Bradshaw was. Like, she was so unhinged. She's not normal. But these are decisions that people make. But the point is, we are going to write characters like this. You have to give them motivation that will convince, and it's not just to convince me. It's that character makes this decision for themselves within the world that they have set for themselves, and they really believe it, even when half of the time they are doing nonsense. And I think that's what After 30 failed to do with the men. The girls were not 3D. They were even hardly 2D, but the men were not even one dimensional. Yes, they were one dimensional. Kunle fine boy, Sheriff good husband, which and again you're just telling us that, oh, this man, and it's not even like you don't show us. So the men were terrible and the women were worse off. Like, these women were written to just self-destruct, and that really made me sad. Me, I watched this film. I thought it was too long, but I was just very sad at the ending. And not sad in the sense that this writing did so much work to elicit sadness as an emotion from me. No. What it did is I was sad because I was sad for these characters because I related with them when they were younger. And I also watched this show, 2015. I was also in my 20s, and now I would be just like these women. And I'm just really confused for the life choices and making them really annoying and toxic. Come on now. Chelsea, come on now. I'm really disappointed. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I remember as I was watching this, I think I said to Mrs. C that parts of this remind me of the Black Book season 2. Is it the Black Book or Black Book? I can't remember.
I
Shadow one.
never remember what it is.
Little Black Book.
Little Black Book.
Little Black.
All right, okay.
Yeah, Little Black
All right,
Book.
okay. Belinda, catch yourself. Yeah, just this is in terms of the second one where the thing just starts carrying you to where you don't know. Just like, what? Why are we?
Season 1, you're season 1, you're like, okay. And then season 2, you're like, what?
Funny enough, Annie is in both of this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Literally same thing. Season 2, literally off screen, there has been a fire, something has burned down, something has scattered. We enter after 30. Oh, these people have settled, these people have married, this one, like, hold up. Slow down.
All right. Elena, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I was going to build up on what Vanessa said because on my original list of dislikes for this movie before I went into my very long rant was the fact that we did not see more of Temi and her mother. Her mother was a very vital part of her story, and I feel like she was a vital part of the comedic side of After 30, from when she told her mother that she was the one who cheated on, I think, Gideon Okeke's character, and there was a whole go and beg him thing. It added to the comedy. Also, her mother gave her a very good, I think that was like one of the best lines from Before 30, when she asked her mother that, have you ever being with a guy that makes your heart stop when you walk into a room, and do you know what it feels like and all that. And she was talking about Ayo's character, that he just, he's like her guy, he's like her forever guy. And her mother responded with one of the wisest words that can come from anyone's mother, and she said, yes, but you do not marry that guy. You marry the guy who is going to be there in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40 years. And it was a good message, because yes, you really don't really get to marry that guy who does all this, because he's probably a homewrecker like Ayo, and he'll probably ruin your life multiple times with the actual guys that could have stayed 20 years, 30 years. So not having the mother there was kind of like, it's ruined part of the story for me. And then with Asa's character, poorly written. And I say this because Gideon's character had 2 episodes or 3 episodes, and he brought in so much flair, so much charm, so much comedy, and he was such a well-rounded, well-written character, because, guys, this was the first mommy's boy that did not necessarily give the ick. They broke up on the fact that this man just could not get rid of his mother, and instead of making a whole thing about it, he was like, okay, cool. And when she went to meet, when her mother called him, he was still playing along with her. So this was like one thing I felt like they did well with Before 30 was that the characters, some of the male characters, even I mentioned one Obi character that was there for like 1 episode, well written, just very charming guys. The writer of this one was not interested in making anybody but Ayo charming, which is a very demonic thing to do. Like every other male character was just a male character. So please, let's not, first of all, this is not an indictment on Asa, because I saw Asa in Dust and he was charming, and he was, he was all of the things that he could be as a love interest. But the writer decided that they wanted to make only Ayo charming. Maybe they were trying to convince us, like they have convinced me, that Ayo is supposed to be one nice guy that is love of somebody's life. It did not work, oh. Right? And let me tell you now, it did not work. Go back and rewrite and write a proper charming guy instead of just throwing him under the bus so that you elevate, what's his name? Ayo.
Okay. Me, as soon as I saw him, I've told you, I called him a bartender. And then I think the next thing I called him was barman. Like I gave him a demotion because
Mr. C, please, let's not fight on this
I did
space.
not
Please,
do
there's
with
no
the
need.
aura.
There's no need.
I'm
Your
sorry.
network will go off again. You don't say things like that. That's why your network spots
I'm
initially. Please.
sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. You have to treat. I actually felt like because it took me a while. It's like, oh yeah, he did. He was the one who did the general. The thing where he was a general and he had some PTSD, right?
Yes, with
Yeah.
Annie.
I can't remember how he did well. Yeah, with Anya as well, right? Okay. Anyway, but I can't remember if he was not good in that, but I was like, no, this guy is
This one
giving,
is not his fault.
yeah, I was
It's not his fault. I'm telling you,
I
in
thought,
Dust, he had two love interests. Let me tell you, two love interests in Dust, and he had chemistry with both of them, and he was charming with both of them. So this is on the right side. And Ayo, especially now, Ayo cause of issues. Let's remember who the real villain in this story is. It's Ayo.
yeah, but all of it is sharp out of my listening because I'm only judging what I saw in the film. This film is like, as soon as
Hey,
I,
but that don't mean you should call him barman.
Why can you
Somebody
imagine?
that rented out
Hey
Shiro.
God,
a
hey
fine
my
barman,
billionaire son, barman.
are you saying barman cannot be fine? I don't
That's
understand.
not what we're saying, my G. You know what you meant. You
What?
know what you are saying. You cannot gaslight us.
It just seemed like one of those ads where, your hot barman is pouring you, mixing you cocktails, that kind of thing.
Mind you,
I
but
just-
okay, fine, fair enough. But this hot barman bought out an exclusive restaurant. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
As in exclusive
The
restaurant.
restaurant
Excuse me,
empty.
I
barman
didn't
where he
buy,
owns the entire bar.
I didn't buy it. I'm sorry.
I don't blame you. What do you know?
He looked like he should have been working in the restaurants, to be
What
honest.
do you
That's what
know?
I'm
What do
saying.
you know?
He
Have
looked
you seen
You
his
don't know
chest?
nothing.
Do you know how tall that man is?
like,
I know how tall. No, genuinely, guys, this is not even me crashing out. I know how tall Asa is. I saw Asa in person. Guys, Asa was looking down at me. You people should stop this thing now. I'll fight. I'll actually crash out. I will crash.
oh, you will? You will? All right. Uti then big T. All right. Uti, go on.
Okay, what I was gonna say was it was actually similar to what you mentioned, Mr. C, about the funeral scene for Caribbean. Because I remember watching it and I was like, this is off to me. And I didn't know how to articulate why. And I guess it was just because like they also infused reality into it, like bringing the actual reason that he passed. And then immediately after that, it was not like, oh, he was my one true. I was like very pretentious to me. Like I know that in that scene, it was like acting that we're mourning, but like I think because to me it was like Caribbean at the same time, also bringing like the actual reason he passed away. And I was like, I just wish they didn't do it. Um I wish they didn't like do that because it was just very like pretentious. It was like, oh, okay, the person passed away, and then it's like, oh, this is one true love. When it's like, again, I don't know like that connection outside like the movie, but I just wish they didn't do that, and I felt some type of way about it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. Especially because it didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel earnest. It just felt like something that you're supposed to do. And it's like, how do we do it? And again, it felt like they just took the Black Panther thing, they copied it, and they just didn't do it well. Like all of the things we tend to copy. Yeah, it didn't work with me. And yes, there's something about, actually mentioning. I thought, honestly, I would have been fine with just copying the Black Panther 2 thing if they just left at the funeral and just, and moved on. I was like, okay, maybe you didn't know how to do it. You found something that felt, did something well in the same way, and you just did that. But tying it up with as the romance lead and then romance moving, literally the next man she meets after that that's it, the new love of her life. I was like, that's not nice. And then they really spoiled everything with the Ayo's character coming in at the
To
funeral
be fair,
scene.
though, he wasn't the next man she met. She just found the rest of them repulsive.
And there's it's the first man she met from the film's perspective. I don't care about like what she was doing off screen. I'm watching this as a viewer. we literally saw that, and then she goes, "Oh, love is making me sick" in the movie whilst watching Breath of Life. Nice plug from them here. Nice Easter egg, I guess. And did a couple of montage, but then the next time we see her, it's her and this guy and Batman. I can't remember. Sorry. Big T, what did you want to add to this?
Hi everyone. So I want to start by saying I agree with most of what everybody has said, especially Mrs. C. This babe definitely went to meet Ayo at the end of Before 30. Because again, I watched everything yesterday for the first time, Before 30, After 30. I think the people that wrote After 30 don't remember what happened Before 30 and they didn't bother to watch it. They just did what they felt like doing. You people said that they didn't respect Kunle's character. They didn't respect anybody's character. Even the Ayo that they want to sell to us, they didn't respect his character either. Because even if you want to sell a deranged person as a sweetheart, do it in a better way. Because that guy was clearly deranged. I don't know why they would make what's her name Nkem sleep with Aisha's husband, because this guy, we know that he's a piece of shit. He doesn't even wash his boxers. Like, why would you want someone that cannot wash his boxers? And when the show started, so when the movie started, yes, it should have been a series. When the movie started, the first thing I said when I saw Aisha had a child was like, having a child with someone that doesn't wash his boxers is certainly a choice, an interesting choice, but a choice nonetheless. Why? And everyone is saying, oh, Aisha getting her tubes tied without telling anybody is out of character. I agree, but also not really, because we see that she can't talk to Sheriff, obviously. And the friends she has, they would have told her that, oh, don't do it, speak to your husband. But for years, she's been speaking to him. That, in fact, actually, I don't know why she ended up with him again. I thought going into After 30, we would say that, oh, she has left her husband. She's now, like, doing well for herself, living life. Maybe she met a new man, maybe not, because you don't actually really need to be with anybody at the end of the day. But okay, she's with the husband. She had tried to tie her tubes. Yes, that makes sense to me. I felt like maybe after she had tied the tubes, she would have told, what's her name, Temi or somebody. And I don't know how Nkem suddenly became the character that is honest to a fault if she's fine with sleeping with people that are married without their partners knowing, and they're not going to sleep with her friend's husband. I don't know how that character is honest to a fault, but sure, whatever they say. The fight at the end was very forced. It didn't make any sense. Again, Aisha picking Nkem to go with her to tie her tubes also did not make any sense to me. Like, the whole thing was just rushed and they were trying to do so many things that ended up being a whole lot of nonsense. Like, people accurately said, "Me want shele," but at the same time, nothing happened. Everything happened, but nothing happened. It was chaotic. I like, when I finished watching it, I'm like, this is just fooling from start to finish. The sapphic romance I was shipping, I'm not surprised it didn't work out because, okay, yes, Christian girly, all of that. But, like, I wish they gave us a little more, to be honest. Like, that was my only ship. The only people I was shipping. Okay, I suppose I was shipping, what's her name again? Temi and Kunle's character because, yes, hot couple. But, like, even after that, they didn't really give us anything. They made the characters unlikable. They regressed so badly. Like, they gave them almost zero redeeming qualities, except, of course, the cutie of the show, Amma, with her babe, or I don't even know what to call her now. Those are the only people I liked in the whole movie. And there was nothing to dislike about the Kunle guy because they didn't really show him, except, okay, yes, this is a fine rich man that likes this babe. I wish they did more with him. Honestly, I'm frustrated by the whole thing. And the people that are asking what is next, what more do you want for them to make it even worse? Like, have they not done enough? Have they not?
All right, Big T has big feelings about After 30. All right, okay, and then we'll do our summary. Oh, sorry. In front of no, Emma had her hands up first. Emma, go on.
All right, I just have a little bit of a nitpick, and my memory is like, a little bit foggy from when I watched Before 30 years ago. But I didn't ever get the vibe that any of them were quote unquote poor of it or less than a certain social status. So I'm trying to connect because I just remembered, I'm trying to connect the scene where Timmy Coker is telling Aya that, oh, now you're with a wealthy girl. I see that you're eating rare steak. You used to call it glorified suya before. I'm like, what was that about? Why? How? What? Like, was that to give us context that, oh, he was humble and struggling before and now? Like, what
Humble as
was
how?
that
Somebody that was
about?
going to work in South Africa every 5
Obviously,
seconds. They
because
should stop
to
this
the
thing
best of
now.
my to the best of my memory, he was well to do. He was doing well for himself. And all of a sudden, it's like, you've changed so much. What? Crazy. That's my nitpick.
She was probably saying that. I'm sorry. She was probably saying that in the sense of, you know how maybe if you were with a man and then maybe he didn't like jollof rice when you guys were together and you're like, so with this new girl, you suddenly like jollof
No,
rice.
but it's different.
So I
No,
don't
but it's
think
different here because the reason why I see what Ma's saying, Olana, sorry, is because she's only saying that because this new babe is governor's daughter. I be
Governor's
governor,
daughter.
somebody granddaughter, somebody influential, sir. So she's making it seem like this girl is introducing him to new things and he's adjusting his personality for this new girl to fit in with such wealth. When in reality, he's always
He
had
should have
money.
already been that way.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Emma. Mrs. C.
I just have to say that I want to buttress the point that these people are soulmates. Ayo and Temi. It's
God.
true. They are soulmates. Initially, I was saying this guy is very stupid at your big age. What do you mean this guy is my soulmate? But the closer we got to the end, I was really like, who they won't leave each other for? Because these are the people that will be ruining people's lives in their wake. They should get together. And then, small ultrasound, she's like, I am out. A toxic queen. Small ultrasound. You are going to be a stepmommy. She packs her bag. And where does she go?
That's messed up.
To this other guy.
That's actually messed up that she went back to him.
Yo! I'm
He
like,
couldn't even be the mother that stepped up after saying
yo!
soulmate. He couldn't step up. Rubbish. Stick with
What is a small baby?
him.
What is baby to your soulmate?
She give me
Mind you, she
ultrasound
could have
though.
had a miscarriage. We don't know. The pregnancy might not
Help me,
even be
okay, I'm not
confirmed.
Yo!
even sure that ultrasound is real. She did
See,
not even wait.
When she should have been planning on how to give the stepchild a stepsister, stepbrother. She's playing
like,
around.
get pregnant, my G. You're almost 40. You're a traditional Nigerian woman. Get to it. What do you mean? I'm packing my bags and I'm flying to this man's place because
you guys, that's what I was saying. It didn't make sense that she did not just link Kunle to this new girl. Like, okay, you guys should go
yo,
together. Then you remain with your soulmate.
somebody said that the
Remain with your soulmate.
writers were on acid towards the end, and Otas, it was you. I believe it. I believe it. Die because what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, my soulmate, my soulmate. Oh, ultrasound. Oh, I was relieved, ma. But also, just a side note, I have a small nitpick. When she ran away from that wedding dress, that bridal store, when she ran away from that bridal store, and she was in the car, and she had her hands over her chest. Now, we know that yes, she was, in quotes, not wearing clothes when she ran away from the bridal shop. But the chest that she was covering, that was the bodice of the dress. So it was the skirt they removed.
Oh my God,
Oh,
yes.
you know
That
the
Yes.
chest
funny,
she
you know
was
the funny
covering
part.
that chest is what she was going to walk down the aisle in.
You know the funny part, Mrs. C. The blazer that they gave her didn't cover the chest, yo, because she's still walking around in his blazer. The chest still opened.
I was so confused. When he entered her car and she was shifting, I'm like, is it Lai that will park his car? How is his car getting home? But there was one more thing I remember, just as a side note.
Exactly. How is this guy getting home? That was the actual question. They didn't have. I even thought to check whether he has a driver. I was looking towards his car, like, is there a driver there? I don't see
There was
anything.
actually
How the guy was
acid.
like, police go tip your car.
There was
Later, Saburo,
acid
pack your
in the
tire.
writer's room. There was acid because they followed nothing to its logical conclusion. Nothing was followed to its logical conclusion. We want making reach our house. How we go make them happen? Okay, like this. What else happens? No point. Don't think about it. No to reason them. But just also on a side note, the way they scattered this babe's friendship is this wedding dress scene, right? When they were on the group call, like, oh, you will follow Temi to her wedding dress, to her dress fitting tomorrow. Me and then this babe were going to go and buy supplies at this place. And that's how she ends up alone at her dress fitting. Again,
Why is her mommy not there?
Where is her mommy?
Sorry.
Where is her mommy?
Like, why shouldn't her dress fittings alone?
Why, thank you.
Again, they
Why,
did everything because of
yes,
Ayo.
No
All this
cousins.
is scattered because of Ayo.
because
They wanted to
why,
set it up so that she will meet Ayo in that place. Ayo is the villain, the devil, the reason that beef after 30 scattered. Let's remember this. They ruined this entire story because of Ayo.
honestly, deadass, it's just no, absolutely not. Absolutely not somebody you have established as having a mother and having a group of girlfriends that she's so close with is not going
A
wedding
mother
You
you
dress
are
have
getting
full
married
of
to a
him
billionaire son. You are getting
herself.
married to a billionaire son and your mother is not front
if
and
her mother
center in
is
the
not there,
wedding
his
planning.
mother is not
Excuse
You
there.
me.
called off your wedding 2
Mother
weeks
that
to
have
the
been waiting
wedding
for
and
you to
nothing
marry since
happened.
90 Borogo.
It's
She's not
okay.
there.
Everybody's
Come
mad.
on.
2 weeks to the
It
wedding,
does.
you have said everybody's
Mad.
balance. What do you
It doesn't
mean?
even
My
Mad.
make
friends have
sense.
flown in from the States. Are you
She
insane?
even left. She left the guy. She returned ring. She did not even go back to her mother. Her mother that was chasing Gideon Okeke's
Yeah.
character.
Sorry
That used to come
about
and
that
buy fuel.
returning
That
ring.
same
Did
person
they forget that
saw
is the same
engagement
person
ring,
who
and
gave
then
lecture to
With
say
our
the good
culture,
character
yes,
that is
women
left on
don't
the
the
girl's
same
plate?
person
return
went to go and beg all the
rings.
You people
ex-boyfriends.
should stop this.
Like, this woman has been begging ex-boyfriends and she saw fiance and you're telling me that they allowed Temi to return ring. Is she mad?
Eh,
They would have carried her to go and do prayers on her head. There's no way that Mama Temi would have allowed her return that ring. That
absolutely
woman would have followed Kule
unserious.
all the way to their abroad to beg him.
Absolutely unserious. Oh yeah,
Okay.
take.
All right.
Nah, that's what got me stressed
You
out.
are not serious, to be honest. All of you. All right, let's do this summary and go. You people have big feelings, clearly. All right, let's start with Vanessa. Give us your summary.
Yeah, in summary, everybody was on crack cocaine. Because really, I don't understand. If you're gonna watch this, don't just go and rewatch Before 30. You get, in fact, even with the cliffhanger ending, you will get more satisfaction from watching the show than you ever would from watching this travesty of a film. Everybody, obviously, in the writers' room was on crack cocaine because the choices that they were making were unfathomable. Don't do it to yourself. Honestly, do not do it to yourself.
Ah, I'm going to do a jump cut from last week's warning.
Anipe, I will bite you.
Vanessa's summary.
Anipe, I will bite you, sir.
All right. Okay. All right. Matt, please tell us. Yes, give us your summary.
This film should have probably been an email, a newsletter. Let's just really skim through it, move on to the next. It should never have hit my screen.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Emma. Uti, do you want to give us your summary?
I think for me it was the writers did not like anybody in this movie, and I like for future projects I wish writers take on projects that where they actually like the characters, because the writers in the movie, forget my French, just said fuck y'all to everybody, and that's what happened, and that's why this movie is the way it is.
Wow. Okay. Uh, who was next? I think Alana.
It's me.
Okay, go on. Alana.
Thank you. My final words, first of all, Olopamako everybody. They should pack everybody and put them inside Kiwi Kiwi. Except Kunle, who is the actual victim of Ayo and Semi in all this. Let's remember the real victim here is Kunle. So they should pack everybody and put them in prison. But especially give Ayo and his soulmates a life sentence with the writer of this story, of course. They cannot share a bunk in a maximum prison. I don't care. And please, you people should put Kule in something else. It's not his fault. Let's all remember this. Let's remember that the real villain is Ayo and Kule was just a victim. So yes, please don't watch this film. Just go back and watch Before 30 and be charmed by actual charming guys and actual charming ladies that those writers loved. Don't watch this one. Or maybe you can watch it for Kunle. You can, I guess. So yeah, that's all.
All right, thanks. I could also do a jump cut between Alana.
You're not a good person.
I swear, Mr. C, I'll come to your house.
I and Vanessa will
I
hunt
know
you
where
down. I
he lives.
promise you.
I know where he lives. I will
Wow.
come to your house. I swear.
Actual, this just took it in my veins, all of this. All right. No, it's just, the sequels will do this. You guys have to be aware of this. Okay. Elizabeth, do you want to give us your summary?
Now, before I summarize, let me just say that we need to stop sequels. Like Nollywood, let it go, let it go, let it go. Don't do it. Start another story. In fact, start another film. Let us be saying, but this character seems so similar to Before 30. Yes. Start a new one. In fact, use the same names. Use the same names of character. You can even use the same actresses and actors and confuse us. But don't tell us this is a sequel. Like, don't tell us this is the feature film. Confuse us. Let us come and say what's going on. I would take that than setting us up for disappointment. Like, this afternoon, seven, I still fought somebody because of Before 30. I'm like, no, I went to go and watch episode 7. Akin was there professing his love. Akin said, you betrayed me with tears. Big man, a big man was in
Bro,
tears.
with tears, just one tear just running down his
She
cheek.
held
Like,
him like,
seriously,
Akin,
dog.
I love you. I love you. Individual of Federal Palace. Kai, look at all that emotion. Only for me to watch this. Nothing was up. Guys, like, nothing was happening. I would have really loved, even the romance that we all thought should be there. It would have really made sense if they explored Christian girl, battling her feelings with the same gender. I would have taken it. Like, I know that we are conservative, whatever, and even if they don't end up together, it would have really been like an extra layer to explore. But this film gave us nothing. Everything happening all at once at the same time while nothing was happening. That's the title. That's the title of this film. Makes no sense. Didn't give us girlhood. Didn't give us friendship. Didn't give us anything. Go on, give us nothing. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Atas, do you want to give us your summary?
I think She Wants to Lux You is generally a 10 over 10 line, and for that reason, I think I will not say this movie was a complete waste. It's unfortunate the way Alma and Alice's storyline ended. I do think Alice, being the more seasoned lesbian, could have been a little more patient with Alma, who clearly this is her first time. But you know what? This movie was doing whatever I felt like in the last 30 minutes. So that's fine. I thought the first hour and 20-ish minutes were okay. I genuinely was having a good time. I don't know why they did what they did in the last 30 minutes. I hope Nollywood starts to share their drugs. I would like some. Kunle is gorgeous. Alma's looks and her hairstyles, gorgeous. It was great to see someone plus size be dressed so nicely and so vividly, especially her hairstyles. So that's my summary. I wouldn't rewatch this. I would go look at Kunle again. So let's leave it at that.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Atas. Big T, do you want to give us your summary?
Yes, and I'll start from where Otta started. The amount of Lux was the funniest thing in the whole everything from before 30, after 30. Funniest thing. Good job there. Everybody was beautiful, like everyone has said. They acted well. They should have probably made this a series if they really wanted to do it. And if they didn't want to make it a series, they should have watched the prequel before making this, because they clearly didn't. They just said, you know what, let's do whatever. It's like they're just throwing words around. You know, when you're playing the game and complete the story, this person will say one word. That's what they did, and that's why it ended up being whatever they gave us. Because I really don't get it. And as for why the seasoned lesbian, stay and be patient, she had to go and do her dream job. She said she couldn't stay for nothing, so that one made sense. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully they do better. I don't mean these people because they shouldn't make any movie again. Like the next movie, hopefully is better than what we're watching.
All right. Thanks, Big T. Mrs. C, please give us your summary.
Well, this one could have stayed in the drafts. I'm not even gonna lie. Although I think by the time I also by the time I hit the drug-fueled part of it, because I was just complaining about the runtime and crying to Mr. C about how much longer the film was left and why it felt so long. But by the time I reached the drug-fueled part, I started enjoying myself. I just started laughing at the dumb decisions because I'm like, why not? Why not? Why the fuck not? Do you, boo? Yes, have this loud ass argument in this babe's restaurant on opening night. It's not like you guys are friends who love each other. Do you, boo? So yeah, this one could have stayed in the drafts, is all I have to say.
Okay, all right. This summary hopefully doesn't start new arguments. But
Don't mention his name. Devil
all
say
right. So
Don't
I guess
come for Kunle.
it's not
Like, we
Kunle.
didn't even have a
No.
pushback session. No. We didn't
Ah,
have a pushback.
yeah, we did.
no, we
Did
did not.
we? We did not have a pushback because I would have pushed back on your scandalous and
People push back.
defamatory statements about Kunle.
Everybody push back. Everybody push back on that. I'm pretty sure that's fine. But anyway, my summary for this doesn't refer to the Batman. So the general thing of this is, I actually think, I think that the big problem with this is that somebody said, I think it might be Nuti who said it, but, this should have been a series. It was paced almost kind of like a series as well, but it felt like a very long, you can't have a 2-hour episode of this series. And that's why I said, like, for me, it carried, I don't know what you guys were watching. This thing carried the spirit of that first one well. I agree with all the things about the characters towards the end. Yes, I'm with you guys. That's where, for me, it fell apart. But even, to be honest, if you guys watch the first one, I'm not a big fan of the way the first one ends. I think it ends abruptly. And it doesn't feel like, it didn't come to what I felt was expected of a rom-com wrap up for season 1. You don't need to wrap everything up. You don't have to tie everything in a pretty bow, but that felt like, it didn't feel like the end of an episode. It felt like the end of a scene. It was so abruptly done. And you guys are saying that, this film did not like the characters. I'll point you to season 1 where Dami basically does the same thing. What did they do with, this babe, we see her leave her husband, like sort of kicks her or leaves her, well, she leaves her husband. What happens with Beverly's character? Beverly's boyfriend leaves her. This series has a spirit of not liking, doing their characters dirty. I'm just saying, this film
No,
carried
it
that.
was supposed to set up for season 2 now. It was supposed to set up for season
I'm
2.
setting up for season 3 or whatever it wants to do. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. That's why I said for the best part and the worst part, the things I didn't even like about Before 30, it carried all of them put inside, but it stretched it. It stretched it. I'm with Miss, like, for so long. I was like, how long left for this thing? How long was left? It just kept on going on and on. But I still have to say, a part of me is with Otas where I think after all the yaps and everything I've said about this, I think this might be the best sequel we've done. It's not high praise, please. It's not high praise. The bar is in the gutter, but, it's probably the best sequel we've done. Yes. I can't think of any one off the top of my head that I would say. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of KLB Volume 2, but KLB Volume 2 was 5 hours, like 5 hours, and so I can't say that was better than this. So yeah,
It wasn't better, it was worse. KOB was worse than this, definitely.
KLB Volume 2.
Yes.
I don't think so. I think KLB Volume 2 wasted my time, more, so I don't know. But anyway, yes. So I thought there's something the writers understood about the first one, Sha. And I just don't think, for me, it should have been, number one, a film. And number two, that ending where it just carries the characters. And like Mr. C said about the husband, because that one is not just relegated to the third act. There's some things it does with the characters that I totally don't agree with. So yeah, that's my problem with this. It really does it goes off the handle in the last 30 minutes, and it has the things I do not like from before 30, it carried it here too. So, I wish you guys all the best with your next endeavor, when all of you will get back together again and the girls seem like they're doing all right, and then they scatter everything again.
Ayo
Now go
scatters
follow you
everything.
watch that one.
Ayo scattered everything, please.
No question. Now go follow Mr. C. Watch that one.
Annie, I forgot to mention Annie's guy, she left her as well, friend, in season 1. Hey, this
You see, do you guys know? Do
is
you
what
know
they
that each
do.
of the guys that left in season 1, like it was quite they let the girls down easy, like they were explaining
No.
it.
Don't
The
want
girls
to
did
text.
not let her
Don't
down
want
Wait,
easy
to
at
text.
all.
wait,
The
with
girls guys
Emeka's
didn't
own,
let
it
her
was
down easy.
Text
like
message.
with
Let's,
Emeka's. Wait, oh, okay, no. The
yeah.
guy that left with that's Aki's character left because of Timmy. With Emeka, it was more of a well, I don't want her to hate herself or some funny thing like that. But it was
I beg, you should get that. You should get that.
it was sharp better.
Um, I just felt like the writer tried to carry all of that and bring it in here. I don't think they did it as well, by the way, because I think
And they
some of the
shouldn't
things that
have.
the thing that happened in where all the girls sort of, number one, is more spread out. It didn't all happen in the last episode, by the way, if I recall correctly. I don't think all of the nonsense happened in the last episode. Yeah. And the second thing, it's just things are just a little bit more believable
And
in
Mr. Say,
the
I
way
just want to
they.
say, I know you are saying this thing of they're basically repeating all the stuff that happened to the girls again, but it shouldn't have happened. And this
Yeah,
is why I asked why the sequel was made. Because if the
yeah.
point of this was, the reason why all those things happened in the first season was because they were setting up for a second season. This is your opportunity as a sequel feature film to clean up the mess, not to recreate the same messes
But
from
it's
the first
8 years
show that
later.
we did.
And
You
you
Eight
But
see
years
a
listen,
lack of growth.
It's
Like
eight
none of
years
these
later.
characters grew is
You
what you
can't
are
clean up
telling
a
me.
mess from 8 years
You can't
ago.
tell us women that are pushing 40 are acting like this and expect us to
You
root for
get
them. It's
someone
not
pushing 40
possible.
and you are telling me about improvements. Are you kidding?
yeah, and again, like I said, I think that was for me. That was some of my problems. I don't even think the first season should have ended quite the way it did. And again, I even still think it did it better in terms of the way the unhappy endings like came. I think it still did it better than this one. This one just feels a lot more forced. But again, I get what they're trying to do. It didn't work. Yeah, anyway. All right. Okay. So you guys are enjoying all these films, it seems. Which sequel do you guys want to watch next?
Mr. C, Uwarka.
I
Uwarka, Mr. C.
just
Don't
asking.
let me
Sorry, which
complain.
films have Colleen in it? Let's focus.
Oh, all right.
Yes,
Anyway.
actually, Asa, what's up next? So that we can watch you again. But
Exactly. Like what's up
that
next? Because
apparently,
this movie did not do justice, and it's a travesty. And no, we need more.
Okay. All right. We'll see we'll see how this goes next week. But thanks everybody for coming. Good spirited discussion, and we'll discuss something else next week. I don't know how it's going to land. 3-way match. Yeah. Right, okay. All right. Anyway, thanks guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming, and bye bye. Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at IrokoCritic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.